aka GWallPro. Let's go ahead and switch to the main camera in 3, 2, 1, boom! Alrighty, let's go, ladies and gents. I appreciate y'all so much for stopping by. We have a little bit of a late start, that's my bad, but we are here continuing Mudkip's lore. Captain Mudkip is in the chat. How's it going? This is Mudkip's lore, his third lore of the trilogy of some GWallPro lore, so I hope you guys are looking forward to it. If you haven't checked out Friday's stream where I read the first part of his lore, I would say go check it out, but that's about like a 3 to 4 hour stream. So, feel free to just chill here and you know, just pick up the context clues as we go along. But regardless, we got plenty of people in the stream. We have Ritz Games, Cool Kid Kari, Boyfriend, Very Scary, Ray, Captain Mudkip, as we already mentioned, Jordan Young, V, Jackham 44. That's everybody so far. So shout out to you guys for coming through. All right. At this point, let's not waste any time. Let's see how far we can get. At this point, I don't think we're going to finish today because I'm looking at the document right now, and there are 253 pages in this document. We are 76 pages in right now, and so we're less than a third of the way through. So we're gonna have to make a little bit of progress right now. We'll see how far we go. And yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm thinking for today, I've heard that chapter 19 in particular is a very, very, very long chapter. So I think we're gonna make it, the plan today is probably to make it all the way up to that chapter 19, and then we'll read, because there's 20 chapters in the whole story, and we're 10 chapters in right now. So I think we'll read chapters 11 through 18 today, and then we'll read chapters 19 and 20 tomorrow. So we might have that, like I said, in the stream schedule I posted today. You know, we might need to stream tomorrow if necessary. I think we're going to have to stream tomorrow just because, again, we're getting a late start today. And, you know, based on my reading pace, it's going to take a while. So that'll be the plan. See if I can get through chapters 11 through 18 today, and then, you know, do chapter 19 and 20 tomorrow. If I have to stop earlier or later, you know, we'll see what happens, and then we'll course correct. And either way, we'll finish the lore tomorrow. But let's see how far we can get today. So let me go ahead and switch over to our lore document. So this is where we ended off. So we're going to move on to chapter 11. What if there was a GWallPro lore wiki? I mean, there's on my Discord server, there's a hub for all my community projects with everyone's lores written down, because this isn't the only lore. Captain Mudkip's lore isn't the only one. There's other people in the chat. Ritz Games has lore. V's writing lore. Stars or Sauce is writing lore. Katrina. There's so many different lores that people are making. So yeah, that's kind of more or less what that is on my Discord server. Is just, you know, there's a giant hub of different lores and other community projects as well. Not everybody is interested in making lore, even though that's the most popular type of art form, or, you know, like tribute piece to my channel is lore. But there's other things that people do as well. You know, whether it's art or like mods, or, you know, regardless. So yeah, but we're gonna keep going with this lore regardless. Anyways, let's get going with chapter 11. We need to see which song is accompanying chapter 11. This one's called Giant Enemy Spider. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did I stop last night? Did I stop at that Xenoblade song? I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that Xenoblade song was where we stopped. So chapter 11 is going to be Deep Nest, Hollow Knight Ambience. Okay, so I guess, you know, good timing for a Hollow Knight Silk song coming out almost a month ago. So we'll listen to some Hollow Knight. Anybody can write lore. You guys can do what you want. I'll happily, again, there's so much that I'm like, I want to. I'm gonna try my best to stream everything that everyone makes, but at the pace that people are making stuff, it's gonna be hard to. So if you do write lore, then let me know in the Discord server. And under that community project section, there's a link to my Discord server in the description. That's kind of where it makes sense to send everything to me. And yeah, so we will see. I want to make one, but I'm not good at writing stories. I mean, you don't have to, Jamie. I mean, if you want to, sure. But if not, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, I've streamed other stuff from my community that isn't just lore. I've streamed people's super worlds or people modding me into games or showing off, of course, your guys' artwork. And so there's a lot of different things, lore just, I'm not sure. I think lore just started because one person decided they wanted to make lore, that being Captain Mudkip. And then, I guess people liked how I read through the lore on stream. So they got inspired and wanted to make it themselves so they could get their story read on stream and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of how that all folded. But regardless, I'm happy that, you guys like the channel enough and get inspired by it enough to make the art that you want to make. It means the world to me, even if a lot of it is lore and a lot of reading that I have to do. But I will never take it for granted because you guys, like I said, you guys don't even have to be watching me. You guys can be watching literally anybody else. I'm just this one guy on the corner of the internet. So, yeah, appreciate you guys for coming through. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the timeline for lore goes after this, like after this lore in particular. I think what I might do in the future, honestly, is just because there's so much, like I said, not even lore, but just so many projects in general, is I might like in the future, I might like just take a whole week because, it was easier to do stuff when I was streaming 5 days a week, like in the first half of this year. But since I've gone back to my standard 3 days a week and technically 2 days a week, because the Wednesday streams are members only, there's limited time for me to, spend on reacting to your projects or lore or artwork or mods or any of that sort of stuff. So I think like what I do in the future going forward is kind of like save up sort of a backlog of people's stuff, their projects, their things, like tribute to the channels and stuff like that, and have like a whole, like once every like 3 months or something, do like a whole week of reacting to GWallPro, reading GWallPro lore, reacting to GWallPro, whether it's animations or art or, playing super worlds dedicated to me or stuff like that. Like, so I think I'll do that in the future instead of doing like one dedicated like stream per story. I think I'm just going to like save everything for, for a week or so of, of projects, just to keep it all contained as opposed to sprinkling it throughout my stream schedule and having it take up some valuable streaming space. But regardless, that all being said, that's all talk for another day. I do appreciate you guys who are tuning in so far. If you guys have enjoyed the lore so far from Friday, and if you guys are enjoying, or if you guys assume that you'll enjoy what you're about to see, feel free to give the stream a like. It means a lot to me. Fire Yoshi, the GOAT moderator, has also showed up to the stream. I like the profile change. Hope you're doing well, Fire Yoshi. Thanks for stopping by. Whew. But all right, let's get started. Enough chitter chatter. So let's go in. Hollow Knight, Deep Nest is the song for chapter 11. So let's get going. God Super Saiyan Vegito, how we doing? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for coming through to the stream. It means a lot to me. We are just about to start reading some lore. All right, I'll close this for now. I raised up a tiny now. You guys can hear it? I think you guys can. I'll raise it a tiny bit. Okay. Here we go. Well, yesterday was an eventful day. The paradoxical enigma snuck into our house. V returned and lives with us now. My grandfather is still alive. The paradoxical enigma is in control of my grandfather, and QB in all helper cubes appear to have been made by the paradoxical enigma. Wow, it's almost like most of the stuff either wasn't intended to happen or was going to happen later and all happened now for some reason. But I'm just speaking nonsense. The all pros we've been contacting have yet to set up their thing to keep others occupied. I wonder what they could do. Hopefully they don't have as eventful a day as we did. I just jinxed them, didn't I? Cool. Vietnam Farmer, Sid, Ari, and Jabber sit outside the upside down looking around. You guys ever get the feeling, says Vietnam Farmer, that we're about to have a really eventful day? Sid says, not really. Hey, what exactly are we looking for? Cool says, a diversion of some sort. Anything that can keep people off our backs. Ari says, but it's probably going to have to be a big problem where everyone has to get involved instead of just a certain number of people on a mission. Jabber says, I think I may have just found a good diversion. They all spot a giant shadow creature that has the appearance of a spider. Cool says, whoa, that's a big boy. But it's also a perfect diversion to keep everyone occupied. Sid says, oh yeah, I heard those spiders are super strong, so it could work, but how do we get it in the upside down? Leave that to me, says Ari. Ari puts a portal under the spider and another portal inside the upside down, letting it in. Ooh, smart thinking, says Jabber. So how long do you think it would take for people to notice? Loud screams are heard from inside the upside down. Vietnam Farmer says, I think people noticed. Wait, we just heard their screams through thick walls. Should we be concerned? Cool says, for their vocal cords or their safety? Yes, says Vietnam Farmer. Sid says we should probably check up on them to see if everything is okay. They all run back into the upside down to see everyone running around screaming and or hurt. The spider stands are seen running down to the first floor. Oh no, what have we done, says Ari. Mabelum says, what on earth was that thing? Lila says, it looked like a giant spider. Amethyst says, that dang thing chased me into the wall. Flashstand says, y'all, what the heck are you doing? You're screaming so loud even Hammerstein can hear you. Hammerstein says, okay, that was just unnecessary. Cat says, guys, there was the giant shadow spider that just wreaked havoc and ran to the first floor. It made a mess and even hurt a few people. Mudkip says, oh, come on. People were in pain and we missed it. Sparky says, okay, everyone gather around the fountain and we'll be down in a sec. Jabber says, they said everyone. That's a good sign, right? Cool says, sure do hope so. A little later, everyone is gathered around the fountain. Okay, says Puffy. It has recently come to our attention that a giant spider has somehow gone inside the upside down and hurt a bunch of you, which, yeah, that isn't too good. Fireyoshi says, since the spider's still here, we're going to have to get rid of it, but Vietnam Farmer says, but. Did you just say but? Why are they saying but? Fireyoshi says, we are trying to focus our attention on getting the bodies of children back, and that is a lot harder than it seems. So, who wants to sign up to take down the spider? Everyone says, stay silent. Sineva says, well, okay, guess we're just going to do whatever's next on the list. Da-da-da, okay. Shy Guy, Jack and 44, GMH, Orange Corn, and VF come up to our office, aka the electronics store. Vietnam Farmer says, me and everyone else working in the garden? Is that all they're sending to beat that thing? We can't do that. Cool says, calm down, VF. There's literally no way they're sending just you guys on that mission. Later on in the electronics store, what's up, Jacoby? Thanks for stopping by. Sparky says, we are literally just sending you guys on this mission. Everyone says, what? Professor Shy Guy says, are you serious? Do you guys know how strong those shadow spiders are? There's no way the 5 of us can take that thing down. Yeah, says GMH, not to mention that most of us aren't really the best when it comes to fighting. Jack and 44 says, yeah, all we really can do is have Shy Guy use his Pokemon moves and VF steal someone's skills. Flashstand says, well, you guys don't really have to kill the thing, just get rid of it. Or maybe keep it contained so it can be dealt with later. Orange Corn says, okay, but even that seems unbelievably dangerous. Those spiders are no joke. Puffy says, yeah, no joke, we get it. But neither are you all pros, so you should just go do it. Xavier. I've not heard a name Xavier. I don't think I know anyone named Xavier. Okay, fair enough. Xavier says, hey guys, sorry to bother you, but do you have any extra straws? Green says, we lost a lot of board game pieces and we need to make our own. We also want to use the straws to make a mural of a purple Pikmin dressed as Jeff Bezos. Okay. Xavier says, don't ask. Mudkip says, don't want to, but they should be in that drawer over there. Xavier says, sick, thanks. Hey, Game Hopper told all of us about a giant shadow spider. Is that true? Saneva says, yeah. It's on the basement floor. These 5 are about to go take care of it. Green says, just them? Aren't those things super strong? Sparky says, yeah, but these are all pros. They can take them. So Xavier says, are you sure we can go and help him if you need us to? Xavier and Green are pinned against the wall. Fireyoshi says, we cannot let you two go anywhere near that spider. Those guys can hurt, but we cannot let that happen to you. Green says, but those guys are going to need as much help as possible. Xavier says, we can keep our distance from the spider, but we're going with them no matter what. Flashdance says, man, the 12 of you seem to be the only ones left that actually care for others. Fine, you can go, but you have to be careful. Puffy says, okay, well, quick change of plans. Green and Xavier are going to go with you for a little extra help. Professor Shy Guy says, well, that ain't much, but I guess it's something. All right, just give us your stupid mission names and we'll be on our way. Green says, actually, the last mission name wasn't too bad, so maybe this one won't be so different. Fire, she says, okay, it's time for the mission. Wash the giant enemy spider out. Green says, oh, never mind then. I was dead wrong. Or never mind, fam, I was dead wrong. Sunny says, all right, before you guys go, we got to do the thing. Can you feel me in the light now? Right side up or upside down, says everyone. The 7 of them leave as Game Hopper, QB, and Hunter teleport into the room. Oh, man, did we miss the upside down chances, Game Hopper? Sure did. What's up with you all, says Mudkip.
QB was gonna help with the giant spider thing, but being around these two depletes his energy.
Yeah, that sounds about right, says Hunter. Oh, speaking of this giant spider, we may have gotten a little clue on how the thing may have gotten in. To the all pros on the mission. Jack on 44 says, okay, I have no idea how to feel about this. Like, everyone knows how strong these spiders are, and they send a bunch of gamers to take care of it. What's up, Kudamax? Orange Corn says, well, at least you guys aren't a literal piece of corn expected to fight a spider 5x your size. G-Mage says, well, maybe it won't be too bad. I'm kind of just telling myself that, so I don't worry. Oh, man, how does a spider like that even get in here? Vietnam Farver says, what, huh? Who knows, dude? Huh? There's probably some random opening somewhere in the upside down big enough to let the giant enemy spider in. Professor Shy Guy says, you know, you don't need to call it giant enemy spider. Vietnam says, I know, but giant enemy spider rolls off the tongue better. Orange Corn says, yeah, no, it straight up doesn't. Vietnam Farmer says, okay, it doesn't matter how I say it. Let's just keep looking for the giant enemy spider, okay? Xavier says, well, let's see what this giant enemy spider has to offer. Hey, you scared, Caleb? Green says, not as scared as you are. The one that should be scared is the spider. He doesn't know who he's about to face, the all pros. Nowhere near enough all pros, says GMH. Yeah, how exactly are we going to beat this thing, says Jack in 44? I mean, Shy Guy actually has attacks, but not the rest of us. VF, did you even shake anyone's hand? Yeah, I shook Rogue's hand and got his lightsabers. Wait, I asked, right? Meanwhile, Rogue says, hey, Ian, have you seen my lightsabers? Ian says, yeah, VF stole them after you shook his hand. Rogue says, oh, gee whiz. Vietnam Farmer says, I'm sure he would have said yes. The sounds of the spider crawling can be heard getting louder and louder. Professor Shy Guy says, great, the thing's already nearby. I'll fly you guys up somewhere to get better elevation. All of them are flown up a bit higher as the giant enemy spider passes by. Xavier says, Jace, that thing is big and fast and strong too. Okay, so it's just DK in spider form, but more terrifying. Orange Corn says, you can say that again. VF, do you think you can take it down? Vietnam Perfect says, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I'm good enough for this, even with rogue skills. Hell, I'm still not really good at much other than farming. G-Man says, then why have you been staring at dirt instead of helping us with the garden? Jack and 44 says, that is not important. VF, you're super skilled. Doesn't matter if you're using someone else's or not. Vietnam Perfect says, yeah, you're right. VF activates the lightsabers and prepares to charge the giant enemy spider, but he stays completely still. Hey, VF, I think that means you were supposed to run at the spider, says Green. Vietnam Farmer says, I was going to, but my body said, nuh-uh. Professor Shy Guy says, nuh-uh. Are you serious? I'm done wasting time. GMH, Jack, cover me, please. Shy Guy flies up into the air with Jack and 44 and GMH running after him. Jack and 44 says, Shy Guy, what exactly are you going to do against that thing? Shy Guy says, anything that gets us out of this dumb mission. Shy Guy uses aerial ace on the giant enemy spider, followed by dark pulse. The spider is hit and immediately turns its attention to Shy Guy. I don't know if I like the way that thing is looking at you, says GMH. You might want to back off, man, says Jack and 44. Not until this thing is dead or unable to move, says Shy Guy. Shy Guy attempts to use air ace once more, but the spider moves out of the way in a flash, catching everyone off guard. The spider lunges at Shy Guy, pinning him to the ground. Orange Corn says, oh no, this really ain't good. VF, we gotta get down there. VF and Orange Corn run down to help the others. Green, should we start heading back? Xavier says, no, let's stay right here for now, just in case. GMH, VF, OC, help us get this thing off of him. Vietnam Farmer says, okay, we're on it. Guys, please hurry, says Shy Guy. The spider uses its back leg to hit the 4 all-pros away and uses 2 of its sharp front legs to stab Shy Guy in the stomach. He lets out a blood-curdling scream and passes out. Oh, God, says Jack in 44. We need to run, says Orangecorn. The spider notices everyone backing up, and it quickly dashes towards them. The spider grabs Jack in 44 and GMH and stabs them with its sharp legs. Green says, Xavier? Xavier says, you don't look, Caleb. You just don't look, Caleb, okay? Orangecorn says, Xavier, you two get out of here and get help for them, okay? Xavier and Green don't say a word and run away. Orangecorn says, okay, VF, we can take care of this another time. We have to get out of here. Vietnam Farmer says, okay. Vietnam Farmer begins to run with Orangecorn on his shoulder. The spider follows behind him. It quickly catches up and swipes VF's leg, causing him and Orangecorn to fall to the ground. Orangecorn says, ow, is your leg okay, VF? Vietnam Farmer says, yeah, I think so. Behind you. What, says Orangecorn? The spider picks up Orangecorn and slams him to the ground, slightly smashing the floor below. It then proceeds to stab Orangecorn as well. VF and the spider look at each other before both of them take off running once again. Meanwhile, Xavier says, help! We need help! Sid says, Xavier, what's going on? Green says, the spider, it attacked GWallPros. They're bleeding and stuff. They need help. Ari says, oh no, is VF okay? Xavier says, we don't know if VF is seen running down the hallway with a giant enemy spider closely following. Oh God, no, says Cool. That thing's not going to stop chasing him. Well, what do we do, says Jer Bear. Green says, he should still have Rogue's lightsabers on him. He can use those. Cool says, right. VF, you have Rogue's lightsabers. Use them now. Vietnam Farmer says, the lightsabers. Right. VF quickly turns around and slashes the spider in one of its legs. It stumbles for a bit before... hang on. Sorry, I totally just lost where I was. Hang on. It stumbles for a bit before... Where the heck am I? I don't even know. Okay. VF quickly turns around and slashes the spiders in one of his legs. There we go. It stumbles for a bit before retaliating by slashes one of VF's legs, leaving a large cut. Vietnam Farmer says, arg, damn it. Okay, you can do this. If you're going to be good at something for once in your life, let it be this, says Vietnam Farmer. The spider takes more swings at VF, leaving cuts in his arms, but he continues to fight back by taking out every single one of its legs and stabbing it in the back. VF deactivates lightsabers, assuming the spider is dead. Vietnam Farmer says, okay. You seem to be moving your head a bit, but you can't really do much with your legs, can you? VF turns around as the spider begins to regrow its legs from the shadows. VF, look behind you, says Xavier. He sees the spider and quickly dodges it as it tries to bite him. Vietnam Farmer says, oh, come on. What does it take to kill this thing? Cool says, try going for its head. That could kill it. VF prepares himself by putting a lightsaber in both hands, but the spider jumps at him and bites down on his arm. VF screams in pain and drops the lightsaber in his free hand. He attempts to pull his arm out, but with no success. Vietnam Farmer says, arg, come on, VF. VF activates the lightsaber in the spider's mouth, causing the beam to go right through the spider's head. The two of them pull apart from each other with VF's arm still in the spider's mouth. After a loud scream in pain, VF falls to the floor and passes out. Sid says, whoa, VF, you did it. Oh. Jabber says, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing, right? Ari says, yeah, let's get him some help. A little later on, what happened? Where are we, says Orangecorn. George says, you're in the Upside Down's pharmacy. Well, at this point, it's just a hospital.
That spider messed you guys up, stabbed you, and knocked all of you out.
All of us, says Jack? Man, no wonder why I feel so horrible. I'm honestly surprised we aren't all dead, says GMH.
Right. About that, all four of you did suffer some pretty serious injuries and lost a lot of blood. Let's just say your hearts may have stopped for a bit.
George says, but you're fine now. Cats quickly put something together that kept your heart beating. But now you're probably going to have to live with that contraption in your chest for the next few days until your heart starts working normally again. Professor Shy Guy says, great, so the five of us are practically living on life support because of a spider.
Nope, just the four of you. VF didn't need it. He escaped the spider and killed it.
Oh, well, at least he got off easy, says Jack. George says, I don't know if I would say that. They walk into the other room to see VF laying on the floor. Cool, J-Bear, Ari, and Sid are on one side with Cats on the others. Holy cow, says Orangecorn. Is he doing all right? Is this cool? Cat says, yeah, he should be waking up any moment. No. Oh, that was good timing. Vietnam Farmer slowly gets up and sees everyone looking at him in concern or fear. Ugh. Hey, y'all, what's up, says Vietnam Farmer. Why does everyone look so scared? Is the giant enemy spider still on the loose? Nope, you took care of him, says Jaybear. Oh, all right. Well, why does something feel so... Vietnam Farmer looks down at his left arm to see it completely missing and bandaged up. Off. My arm is gone? My arm is gone, says Vietnam Farmer. Or why is my arm gone? Cat says, whoa, come down, VF. The spider ripped it off as you killed it. We were able to get it bandaged up to prevent any more bleeding, but yeah, the arm is still no more. So now what? I just go around with one arm, says Vietnam Farmer?
Not exactly, because a while ago, me, Cat, and George made this.
George reveals a metal one. A metal arm. We can put this on as a replacement arm, says George. It will take some time to get used to, but it's better than nothing. The arm is placed onto VF. He struggles to move it, but eventually gains more control. Well, how does it feel, says Orangecorn? Vietnam Farmer says it feels different, but it'll be fine. VF lays back down and admires his new arm. Meanwhile, in the electronics store, Game Hopper says, so now that we know about the spider getting in, what should we do about it? Sineva says, well, they know what they did, but they don't know we know. We can just use it against them with the same smile on our face. Xavier and Green walk back into the room. Fire says, oh great, there you two are. You didn't get hurt, did you? Nope, but we need a bit of rest, says Xavier. Well, okay, you guys go do that, says Fire Yoshi. Well, another day, another successful mission. Spark says, yeah, but also another unsuccessful attempt at getting the kids' bodies back. Hunter says, there must be something you guys are missing that could be the key to everything working. The blueprints you have now seem nearly perfect. QB says, oh, hang on.
If you guys are trying to get the bodies of 6 little kids back, then maybe you need new bodies to do it.
Yep, says Sparky. A new body to bring back the old one. If only that can work. Wait, maybe it could. The only thing about the current machine that isn't working is that we still don't have a proper way to get the bodies back. If we somehow made the machine recognize a body, Puffy says, then the machine could possibly make a new fresh one. Though it would most likely require whatever body is used to not be in use anymore. Flash Dan says, so with all this new information, then one body is all we need for this to be complete?
A body would be completely destroyed? Who on earth are you going to find that would give up their body, their life, for this machine?
GWallPros look at each other as if they're plotting something. Here, QB, says Sineva, I'm going to write a letter for Gabe, and we need you to go back to his place as soon as possible and give it to him.
Okay. What does it say?
Mudkip says, it's an invitation of sorts. Just give it to him and you can come right back. QB, while slightly concerned, begins to leave. Sineva says, wait, QB, do you know you don't have to stay with Gabe? We know how much you love it over here, and we'd love for you to stay and join us.
Thanks, but QB is Gabe's helper cube. He has to help him. Has to. Bye, guys.
QB flies away, and the GWallPros keep a smile on their face. And that is the end of chapter 11. Not too bad. Not too bad, y'all. It's like reading a play with a theme learned from school. I mean, even still, I mean, I think it's a lot more in depth than a school play. But granted, I've never done school plays, so I wouldn't know. But hey, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. You had Vietnam losing an arm plan for over a year. That's very interesting. Hey, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do for the plot of the story. But okay, that was that. So next up is chapter 12, right here. The one that never shuts up, says Mudkip. Okay. Very interesting. Chapter 12 is called Nothing to Worry About. And the song that we're going to be using is called I'll Face Myself from Persona 4. Hopefully this one doesn't have lyrics because, you know, we can't be having lyrics, you know, as I'm trying to read lore. Maybe it does. I don't know. At this point, you know, nothing would be a shock to me. All right, chapter 12. Nothing to worry about. Let's just get right to it. Not much time for breakdown, for chilling. But chapter 11 was pretty good. Pretty dark, but pretty good. Here comes chapter 12. Okay. I'll face myself. Okay. That works. It's kind of got Kingdom Hearts vibes, low-key, but... All right, chapter 12, nothing to worry about. So, we're all still mentally recovering from everything that happened with the Paradoxical Enigma. A lot of twists and reveals, but we've really been going through it. Hopefully today will be a chill day. Man, I got nothing else to say. Gabe sits in his room on the phone with Simon. Simon says, wow, you guys had all that happen in just one day? Man, you've really been going through it. I just said that, Simon, says GWallPro. Ignore him. But yeah, hopefully things calm down today. Everyone is pretty on edge. And very scary, Ray and Dove. I think theory crafting is driving me crazy. Dove says, you're crazy, Gabe. Gabe's, dang, she got good ears. Simon says, well, I hope things can get sorted out between all of you. Stay safe. The offer to stay at the safe haven still stands. Nah, we'll be fine. Thanks anyways. See you, Simon. I just hang up immediately. Nope, that's pretty rough, but all right. When Cubit's getting back?
What's up, bros? Cubit's back.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to be back so soon.
Neither was Cubit. Hey, Cubit needed to give.
Oh, Cubit, I just remembered. V has been having a hard time adjusting to his new life. We know you two have a relationship, so I thought you could check up on him.
Wait, but... Okay. Yeah, Cubit can go do that.
Cubit leaves. I'm kind of worried about Cubit. I feel like he's been acting more aggressively towards me. And now that he found out that the Paradoxical Enigma might have made him, he's been even more on edge. I just hope he's okay. Yeah, I've noticed it as well, especially directed towards you, but Cubit is going through just as much, if not more than we are. He knows he's putting us in danger, and there's also the whole Paradoxical Enigma thing. I've also been thinking you saying he shouldn't be visiting the others may be stressing him out. Just give him his space. I'm sure there's nothing to worry about. Meanwhile, Gold Guy says, I know things are a little tense, but trust me, everything here is just fine. We got a nice bed for you, some nice food, and a fan because March can't decide if it wants to be hot or not. The whole shebang. And just so you know, everyone completely forgives you for trying to kill them and whatnot. V says, okay, cool. Thanks. Gold Guy says, nice. Bye-bye now, All-Pro. Or bye-bye, new All-Pro. Gold Guy leaves and QB comes in. Oh, you again. What do you want, QB? Says V.
Cubit was told to check on you. If it was up to Cubit, he wouldn't want to see you ever, but Gabe told me to. And no matter what Cubit has to do, anyway, even if I don't want to.
V says, well, thanks for checking up on me, but are you okay?
I am. Cubit is fine. He just has a lot going on right now. All Cubit wants is to do as he pleases and find out about the creation of helper cubes. After that, Cubit has no idea what he wants to do with his life.
V says, I'm in the same boat as you, bud. Now that I'm also an All-Pro, I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I've been set on destroying you for so long, but dying is the one thing I won't do. I still haven't gotten over them saying that to me.
Cubit has wanted you dead for some time, but now he doesn't know what he wants from you.
Both of us will find out soon enough, says V. There's nothing to worry about. QB, while looking concerned, leaves the room and enters the living room.
Yeah, try telling Cubit there's nothing to worry about.
Is he doing fine, QB, says Gold Guy?
Yeah, he's fine. He'll probably be up and running in a few or whatever.
Gold Guy says, okay. Man, I wouldn't expect QB to speak in a tone like that. Lazy says, that's kind of how Game Hopper would talk, minus the swears. Guess this is a result of them hanging out so much. Jamie says, I don't know. He seems upset. Should we check on him? Turquoise says, from what I've seen, QB is someone that really values his alone time. We can leave him be for now and check about him later.
Are you guys talking about Cubit?
Nope, says Jamie. No, we aren't. Luna says, what do you mean no? You guys are talking loud as heck. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say anything, was I? Oh, my bad. Turquoise says, no, sorry about that. QB, we're just worried about you.
The only one that should be worrying about Cubit right now is Cubit. And Cubit is fine.
QB storms off. MTT says, what's up with QB? I can't tell if this is just his usual insanity or he's just really mad. Luna says, really mad. None of us know why. Katrina says, should we try to help him? He does help us a lot after all. Minin says, I would say this is not my problem, but he helped me come up with pickup lines that weren't cringy. Wait, what? Why, says MTT. Not important, says Minin. QB enters the room with Dove, Very Scary, and Ray staring at the theory board.
The heck are you three doing?
Ray says, what does it look like we're doing, QB? We're theorizing. Right now, we're using everything Very Scary knows about the All-Pro cult to find out stuff about Arthur, Rainbow Crew, and some other plans. Everything.
Oh, how's that going?
Very Scary says, good so far. Right now, we're trying to figure out exactly how Maxwell, the co-creator of Rainbow Crew and former All-Pro, died. Online, it says he died from some unknown cause. According to his family, he was incredibly healthy before his death and a little crazy.
Crazy?
Dove says, but that's our main focus at the moment. We're also trying to figure out the link between GWallPro's grandfather, the paradoxical enigma, and All-Pro Energy. We also think that workshop we visited a few days ago was involved as well. They had to have been there for a reason.
There's a reason for everything. Now, can you all let QB go back to his own theories?
You okay, QB? This is Very Scary.
Can people stop asking if I'm okay?
Ray says, we know the rules, bud. If you aren't speaking in the third person, then something is up. So tell us.
First, QB's effectiveness. He'll only tell you guys if you promise not to tell anyone else.
They all nod.
QB was offered to leave this place and stay at the Upside Down with the other All-Pros. Permanently.
What's up, Vinny boy? Oh, wow, this is Dove. Not was that what I was expecting. I don't know, QB. Things down there seem pretty tense. I'm not sure you being down there is safe. Besides, we know things haven't been the best up here as of late, but there's nothing wrong with this place. Why would you want to leave?
This place is fine. Gabe is the one QB has a problem with. QB wants to make his own choices, help who he wants. He wants to be free. But Gabe keeps having QB do stuff, some of which is stuff QB doesn't want to do.
Ray says, are you talking about everything that happened back when you were reviving everyone? But Gabe learned from mistakes that...
Has he really? Because to QB, it feels like that hasn't stopped. Back then, QB only came back because he escaped Super Cube. As his Super Cube, I want to help him no matter what. Sorry.
I need to rephrase that.
As a Super Cube, I have to help him no matter what. That system is messed up, isn't it? I'm not really supposed to help anyone else. Only Gabe. Helping anyone else is technically disobeying him, and Helper Cube rules. Ain't that cool?
Very Scary says, so you want free will? That's understandable. Hey, you know, following the rules is overrated. If superheroes follow the rules, then they wouldn't win half the time. We may not think this is the best choice, but we want what's best for you. So if you want to leave us and stay at the Upside Down, then go ahead.
Okay. Wait, I can't just go. Gabe will get so mad at you guys.
Ray says, don't worry about Gabe. Don't worry about us. There's nothing to worry about.
Nothing to worry about. Wait, QB supposed to give whatever this is. QB will be right back. Or maybe not. You know what he means.
QB dashes out of the room. Ah! What a silly cube, says Dove. Are we sure there's nothing to worry about? Very Scary says, not at all. Maybe if it's best if he knows he has nothing to worry about. With Gabe and the All-Pros, all of which are sitting in the living room. Hey guys, what are you guys doing? Luna says, tying Minin up so we can find out who he has a crush on. This is torture and against the law, says Minin. There are no laws in the All-Pro apocalypse, Minin, says Lazy. V says, what the heck is all that noise? Is this normal? The craziness? Yes, absolutely. But tying people up is new. Gotta add that to the list.
Gabe, QB needs to talk to you about something important.
Okay, what's up?
The other All-Pros, they wanted QB to give you this. QB hasn't read it yet. She isn't too sure what it is.
QB gives Gabe the letter from the All-Pros and he begins to read it. Dear Gabe, we know things kind of got off on the wrong foot at the factory. Things have been really crazy over the past few months and we haven't given ourselves time to reflect on our actions. But now that we're done, we want to set things straight. We invite you to the Upside Down so we can talk things out and become a team again. By the way, you'll know you're at the Upside Down when you see a building that has the Upside Down graffiti to the top of it. Well, that's it from us. Hope to see you soon. The others can't wait to finally see you again. Sincerely, the All-Pros. Well, specifically, Signeva, Fire Yoshi, Flastan, Sparky, Mudkip, and Puffy. P.S. It may be best just to bring one other person with you for now.
Oh, that's not what QB was expecting.
So they want to sort things out. This This is great. We can finally become a team again. The All Pros. But only one of you can go? Who? They all look at each other wondering who would join Gabe. Can I go, says V? They want to make up with you. Maybe I can convince them to make up with me. Sure, that's a great idea. I think it'll be fine if GWallPro and QB came. Okay, we'll go tomorrow morning. Be ready by then, V. Gotcha, says V. Thank you so much for this, QB. I gotta go get ready.
No problem, Gabe. Nothing to worry about, QB. Nothing to worry about.
Hey, QB, over here. Let me talk to you for a bit. This is GWallPro. QB moves over to GWallPro, and the two of them begin to have a walk and talk despite both of them floating in the air.
What's up, GWallPro?
QB, you understand we live in a very dangerous time, correct?
Of course. It's an apocalypse, after all.
Indeed. Then you must understand that many unexpected things can happen. Injury, starvation, loss of our shelter, and even death. Do you think you'd be prepared for death, QB?
No, but QB doesn't think anyone will be. And after what happened, QB can't revive people anymore.
That's true, but I want...
Shoot. Oh.
My bad. I clicked the wrong thing. That's true, but I want you... No, I need you to remember this, QB. If you don't know what to do, then all you need is a little more energy and maybe a friend by your side.
A friend like who?
You know exactly who, QB. With him, there's nothing to worry about. QB and GWallPro sit side by side with nothing to worry about. And that is the end of chapter 12. All right. Not bad. There's nothing to worry about. Sure. There's nothing to worry about. Sure. Honestly, we're kind of cooking. We're already 15 pages in. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, good stuff. Final 8 chapters. Chapter 13. Cheaters sometimes prosper. Unfortunately, that's just the way life kind of goes. Next up is the song is Between Heaven and Earth, Rain/Thunder from Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Okay. Everything is fine. Everything's fine, Fire Yoshi. Exactly. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. All right. Chapter 13. I thought this was chapter 14. Is this supposed to be chapter 14 music? I don't know. Right now we all right, let me pause this real quick. Because chapter 13, Between Heaven and Earth, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I mean, there's enough for 20. Chapter 14 is the song I picked. Okay, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, I think all the songs are in order. All right. Anyways, let's restart. All right, as long as everything looks good. Cheaters sometimes prosper. This seems right. As long as you guys say it's right, then I'll just keep going. If you guys tell me I have to do a different song, then we'll do a different song. But all right. Another day has passed in this All-Pro apocalypse. We have finally gained another chance to meet up with the other All-Pros and fix what's broken between us. Gabe had the 4 of us leave early in the morning so we could get there at a reasonable time. Smart choice if you ask me. Not much longer until we reach our destination. I have a feeling that today will be a great day for the All-Pros. On the walk, Gabe begins to call cool as they get closer and closer to the Upside Down. Goodness gracious, how much farther is this mall? QB, how on earth have you been going back and forth to this place for 8 months?
You get used to it. Also, why are you complaining? You're floating.
Yeah, but I'm bored. Calm down, GWallPro. It's not much longer. Oh, hey, Cool answered. Cool says, yo, it's cool. Keeping it cool. I'm trying something new. Don't judge me. Don't worry. I'll only do it silently. Anyways, what's up with you guys? Cool says, same old, just chilling in Cold Stone and still trying to help VF get adjusted to, you know. Vietnam Farmer says, someone help. I accidentally took the arm off again. Cool says, anyways, what's up with you? Doing great, actually. We got a letter yesterday inviting us here, and we're on our way. Apparently, they want to settle things out. Cool says, oh, that's cool, and a really good sign. Or at least, I think it is. Yeah, hey, we're getting closer, so I'll talk to you later. Bye. Gabe hangs up. I'm hanging up on everybody, I guess. Cool says, why don't I feel good about this? Rit says, hey, Cool. Gosh, there you are. We just got called up for a mission. You need to go. Pool says, oh, I really don't feel good about this in the electronics store. Hunter says, holy, oh. Okay, Cap, the Hornet successfully stole Ian's wand. Mudkip says, perfect. Thank you, Hornet. You guys shall get extra honeybees to snack on tonight, my precious little babies. Mudkip starts gently petting each of the Hornets on their heads. That's crazy. Hammered Science says, whoa. Okay, first of all, ew, I'm over 60 years old, and even I feel too young to watch this. And second, what do you mean you stole the wand? Game Hopper says, yeah, you could have at least let me watch you steal it, but no. Hammer Sign says, what? No, that's not what I mean. You have to give the wand back. Flatstand says, relax, Hammerstein. We only need it for a quick project. Flatstand uses the wand to create a giant structure outside topped with the exact same upside down graffiti as the mall. Game Hopper says, the hell is that supposed to be? Sparky says, that, Game Hopper, is our very own special little death trap. Death trap for who? Says Hammerstein. Sunny says, it's for Gabe, of course. Remember how we said one body is all we need for the machine to be complete? Well, Gabe is that one life. Hammerstein says, you're going to kill Gabe in that death trap? Are you insane? Puffy says, yes, but think about it like this. We're taking the life of a selfish loser that doesn't listen to his own team and using it to bring back the lives of 6 children who lost it too soon. Hammerstein looks back and Hunter and Game Hopper look concerned, but they both immediately switch to looking on board with the plan once the All-Pros look at him. Hunter says, well, this plan seems cool, but why exactly did it need to be a mission? Fireshine says, it's a mission because some of the contraptions in this death trap require people to operate them, and we don't feel like doing that. We would get started soon, but they've yet to arrive. The selected group of All-Pros arrive. Lenny says, oof, sorry we're late, guys. We were too busy looking for Cool. Mabelum says, not sure why the Cold Stone isn't the first place we checked, considering he's been there instead of with us for the past few days. Sparky says, yeah, you've been spending a lot of time there, haven't you? They go silent, and everyone begins to look around, wondering when they'd say something.
Awkward, am I right? Okay, can you guys please send us on the mission now?
George says, yeah, me and Rob are kind of busy being in the Upside Down's doctors. Sunny says, right, so basically a group of Ravagers have been spotted in the area. We believe the Upside Down could be next. Using Ian's wand that we definitely asked for politely, we were able to set a trap for the Ravagers, and we need your help running it. Ritz says, oh, okay, sounds simple enough, although I feel like we would have heard about Ravagers nearby. Puffy says, I guess your sources aren't up to code like ours. Okay, that I think you can start the... Casey says, hold your horses, peasants. The king has arrived. Loyal minion, deliver the word. Blue says, ahem. King Casey has come to the decision that he and his loyal minions would like to join the All-Pros on their mission, and we are now coming along. Flatstand says, no. Casey says, haha, hey, Flatstand, I think you said yes wrong. Repeat after me, it is ye, Flatstand says, no, I meant no. You two can't come. Blue says, what? Why not? Everyone else has gone on a mission, including the kids. Mudkip says, yeah, but those guys were either accompanied by an adult or someone aged 13 or older. And what they're about to hop on is definitely PG-13, if you know what I mean. Casey says, curse our young age. Come on, Henry, let's go play something else. Blue says, wait. You said we're about to get into a PG-13 situation? Well, as a counterpoint, I will mention that being in Game Hopper's presence automatically makes things rated R. Game Hopper says, damn, they have one hell of a good point. Holy. Blue says, and I will also mention that nearly 2 years ago, I was brutally killed and my body was cut up and torn apart into multiple pieces. Something like that may honestly be even more than rated R. But also, are we going to be accompanied by people ages 13 and plus if those guys are there? Fire, she says, wow, those are all good points. Damn, we just got outsmarted by children. Are y'all surprised by that? No, says everyone. Yeah, me neither, says Fire Yoshi. Okay, fine, you two can go on the mission, but you have to stay by them. Okie dokie, says Casey.
Oh, great. Now our mission doubles as babysitting duty.
Okay, weirdo, says Sineva. You know the deal. Can you feel me in the light now? Right side up. Everyone says, or upside down. Funny says, oh, wait, what's the mission name? Fire says, all right. Is cheating allowed? Mabelum says, that's the name? What does that even mean? You're not going to tell us, are you? Outside of the entrance of the death trap. Gabe says, so this is the upside down, huh? Well, it has graffiti that says upside down on it, says GWallPro. I could have sworn it looked different when I was here, or maybe it's just because it's a different entrance. QB, you're here a lot. This is the right place, right?
It seems like this is where they want us to come in.
They head inside and find it completely dark. A giant light flashes down on them and nothing else. Okay, that's ominous. Are we supposed to go through here in complete darkness and barely any light? What is this, haunted house? 3 heavy weights fall from the ceiling, but everyone dodges it. QB is then swept away without anyone noticing. What on earth was that? GWallPro, V, are you guys okay? Where's QB? V says, I don't know, he was just next to me. Meanwhile, George says, okay, I set off the traps. Did they hit? Flashdance says, George, yours didn't, but Casey and Blue's trap did. Yay, we did it, Henry, says Casey. Where it says, wouldn't it be easier if we could actually see the Ravagers were attacking rather than you guys telling us when to attack them? Yeah, it would be, says Sparky. Where it says, okay, you said the kids' trap worked. What did it do? Mudkip says, kind of hard to explain. Just know it didn't hurt in any way. QB falls into the room.
What are you guys doing?
Puffy says, hey, QB, sorry for the rough entrance. We just needed a way to get you in here without making our presence known.
What is all this? Are those cameras? Why are you guys watching Gabe?
Okay, let's explain things, says Sineva. One explanation later. Sineva says, okay, you're all caught up.
Holy cow. You guys are trying to kill Gabe.
She says, we know it sounds crazy, but the guy's gotten us killed more than once. This is just us returning the favor while helping some friends out. Flashdance says, speaking of which, Flashdance activates the mic. Hey, cool, Ravagers are in position, says Flashdance. It's time for you to activate trap number 47. Oh, great, number 47. Cool?
Cool has disappeared, y'all.
Vietnam Farmer Sid, Jabber, and Ari walk up to the death trap as Cool sneaks out of it. Cool says, oh, great, there you guys are. Ari says, cool? What's this all about? What's this giant building? Cool says, I'm not too sure yet, but something's off about it. We need to go in and find out for ourselves. Jabber says, oh boy, we're gonna regret this. They walk inside the death trap. Okay, can someone please find Cool, says Mudkip? He's right there. Oh.
He's right there, on the cameras.
QB's right, says Puffy. That's him. Looks like he's with the other insane ones. They're onto us, aren't they? Sunny says, seems to be that way, but what they don't know is that we're onto them as well. Game Hopper, Hunter, you two said you had something prepared for this, right? Game Hopper says, oh yeah, we do. You ready, Hunter? Hunter says, of course I'm ready. Murder Hornets, go to those all-pros and give them a little scare. Make sure you stay out of sight until the big event, though. The Hornets fly off. Hunter says, okay, you guys go back to killing Gabe while we deal with this. To Gabe, B, and GWallPro. Okay. That's 20 plus traps and 200 plus thumbtacks stuck in the back. B says, thanks for blocking those, by the way. GWallPro says, it was no big deal. I didn't plan on doing it. I wish we knew where QB went. I know he has disappeared a lot often, but not like this. He must be somewhere around here. Wait, I hear something. A giant spike ball comes rolling towards them, but V stops it with his psychic powers. V says, okay, I have no idea what happened between when I last saw you all and now, but why are the all-pros trying to kill you? I wish I knew. I mean, they've been mad at me for the past few months, but I didn't think they'd go to these extremes. I guess they want me to make up for getting them killed twice? Well, 3 times if you count the time in 2023. Not helping, GWallPro. The point is they have a lot of reasons to be mad at me. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at me. I would be mad at me too. The same mistake that got them killed by those giant by those giant rainbow creatures is the same mistake that sent us into this apocalypse. I didn't listen, and now the world is ending because of it. V says, whoa, wait. You started this? No, he didn't. Says GWallPro. Gabe, me and the other all-pros have told you time and time again that this wasn't your fault. Whose was it then? Yes, GWallPro, Paradoxical Enigma, and the all-pro quote were the ones with the plan, but so much of it wouldn't have worked if it weren't for me. If it weren't for me, the all-pros would have never split up. If it weren't for me, QB would have never exploded himself. And if it weren't for me, GWallPro would have never been revived. Well, who was the one that killed him in the first place? You. If it weren't for you, I would have been dead. I used your power to defeat him. You are the hero, not me. GWallPro stays silent, unable to think of a response. Let's just keep going, okay? V looks up at GWallPro in concern before they begin walking in. Meanwhile, again, Maybelline says, did that one hit? Honey says, nope. We're probably like 50 Cent in that one time he threw a pitch. That means we're missing like crazy, by the way. Maybelline says, you could have just said that. George says, how crazy can these Ravagers be if they're dodging everything we throw at them so well? Ritz says, tell me about it. With how fast they're going, I'm starting to think they're all pros. All pros, says Blue? Hey, Henry, I'm getting a little bored. I thought we would be seeing a lot more action instead of sitting in a room and pressing buttons. I know we aren't supposed to do this, but do you want to leave and explore this place? Blue says, you want us to leave the trusted adult figures and explore on our own while knowing that doing this is the exact thing that got me killed? Sure, let's do it. I don't see a problem with this. The two of them exit the room. Meanwhile, again. Vietnam Farmer says, cool, what exactly are we planning to do here? Cool says, all I want to do is find Sineva, Puffy, Flat Stan, and, you know, the whole group. What's up, Ian? Thank you for the 27 months. 27 months in the wall of gold is crazy. Happy Leaf Erickson Day, Gabe. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a good day, Ian. I appreciate that. 27 months is crazy. All right, the whole group. Sid says, what are we going to do once we find them? I don't mean to put us down, but we can barely look them in the eyes as is, not to mention the smiles they always have on their face. Ari says, a smile so fake, it's terrifying. We're scared of a smile. Jabber says, not just that. It's clear they've been onto us. We've seen the Hornets spy on us. They're onto us and they're planning something against us, this Jabber. Fool says, quiet down. We don't know what they know. Maybe it's the best we assume they know nothing. 20 months, it's no use. Thank you, V, for the 20 months. Let's go. 4 months until your gold badge. So shout out to them. It's no use. Absolutely. Oh, man. Fool says, quiet down. We don't know what they know. Maybe it's best they assume we know nothing. Hunter says, hear that, Hornets? It's time. The Hornets gather up, staying out of sight. They tell everyone what you did, says the Hornets. Jabber says, who just said that? The Hornets, while mimicking the voices of the All-Pros, continue to speak to them. The Hornets say the All-Pros will find out who let the giant enemy spider, and they'll find out who caused the All-Pros great harm. Vietnam Farmer says, no, they know. They know what we did. Ari says, we didn't know the spider would cause so much harm, we swear. Fool says, no, guys, don't let them get into your head. Don't tell them what you've done. Hornet says, tell them what you've done. Sid says, stop, please. We didn't mean to. None of this was meant to happen. Hornet says, you learned your lesson. Now you'll suffocate in the pain. You will forever be scared of the smile you see and haunted by the little voice ruining your sanity. The Hornets begin to glow purple and form a giant smiley face. Tell them what you've done, says the Hornets. Tell them what you've done. 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 Fool says, tell them what you've done. Fool turns to Casey and Blue standing in the corner watching. Casey says, we don't know what you've done, but you don't have to tell them anything. Blue says, cool, you may not be the leader of the All-Pros anymore, but you are still good enough to get them out of this. Now be the leader you're meant to be. Fool stops and thinks before standing straight up and facing the All-Pros and Hornets. Fool says, right. Hey, enough being scared, guys. We're not going to let one mistake hurt us. We're not going to let our insanity break us, and we're not going to let this smile scare us. Fool turns around and uses his ice power to freeze the Hornets. Mudkip says, no, my poor murder Hornets. Sunny says, well, this ain't good. Come on, we need to get down there. They leave the room. Bear Bear says, holy cow, cool, that was awesome. Cool says, thank you, but now we need to go find Gabe. They begin to run through each room of the death trap. Oh, when will this hell end? Gabe says, cool? Cool? All of you? What the heck are you guys doing here? Are you guys okay? Ari says, we're fine. Kind of on edge, but mostly fine. What are you doing here? Where are the Ravagers? Wait, is this cool? There are no Ravagers. These guys set this thing up to kill you, not take down some people trying to hurt us. A trap goes off next to them, but they all dodge it. Vietnam Barber says, we should probably go tell the others to stop with the traps. Pool says, good idea. Gabe will be right back, okay? Pool ices the floor and they all slide away. V says, wow, that looks so fun. But now, how do we leave? And where's QB? And what do we do about those All-Pros? Barker says, you don't have to do anything about us. The six of them walk into the room. Mudkip says, hey, Gabe. Hey, V. Hey, big glowy dude. There you guys are. What is all this? Why did you bring me here? Do you really want me dead that much? Fire says, not want, but we need you dead, Gabe. After 8 long months, we finally have an answer to get the kids' bodies back, and one body is all we need for this to be complete. Puffy says, you know, Gabe, we've shown so much remorse for those kids after finding out what happened to them. You wouldn't know, of course, especially after what you did to us. I swear, I didn't mean to leave you guys in that factory. Sunny says, well, you did, Gabe. If you were to just rewind, then you would find that we were left behind. Thanks to QB, we were reborn again, breathing new life into our tombs. Would you all shut up? You all are trying to take the life of someone else out of our pettiness. What kind of All-Pros are you? Sparky says, what kind of all pros are we? We are the only ones that care about how others feel. All we want is a little sympathy. We haven't gotten a bit of that. You have no idea what we've been through time and time again. Mudkip says, we're just done now. Sorry, Gabe, but we can't keep you alive any longer. Cool says, stop! As they lunge to attack Gabe, they're all frozen in place by Cool. Game Hopper says, oh, come on, what an anticlimactic ending. Hunter says, being frozen is really how they're going to be defeated.
They're not done. QB can feel their all-pro energy from here. Something is up.
Casey says, oh, Game Hopper. Hunter, Huey. Game Hopper says, what the? Where did you two come from? Lou says, long story. We just want to watch from the cameras for a bit. Back to everyone else. Ritz says, y'all. Wait, okay. First time the song actually ended before the chapter ended. Ritz says, yo, what the hell's this? You've been having us try to kill Gabe this entire time?
Wait. There it is. These weirdos told us nothing. You can't do this.
George says, there were never any Ravagers. You just wanted us to participate in your sick, twisted scheme. Okay, yeah, even for me, I know this is all unbelievably messed up, says V. I expected so much better from you guys. You've turned into awful monsters, and now you're paying for it. The six of them break out of the ice. Their eyes begin to glow as they look at Gabe. Puffy says, paying for it? How much do we have to pay? We have died 3 times because of you. Cool, Ritz, it happened to you twice. It happened to all of you at least once. Why are you still defending him? V says, maybe because unlike you guys, Gabe is actually a good person. He took in someone that was his enemy the last time he saw him. When you guys did it, you told me to. What happened to you guys? Sineva says, a lot has happened to us, but we've been through so much because of him. They begin to walk towards Gabe once more, but Cool freezes them and they break out again. They continue to get frozen and break out. Flash Dance says, Cool, please stop. Cool says, no. As a former leader of the All Pros, I have the authority to stop this. The All Pros zip over to Cool and grab him by the neck. Cool begins to notice his neck slightly burning as he is held. Fire, she says, how are you all too stupid to realize this? He is the one that tore us apart. Cool is thrown onto the floor. Mudkip says, but if that's how we're playing it, then fine. Let the games begin, Gabe. All of their bodies ignite in green, blue, and magenta colored fire. They dash and swipe at Gabe, but GWallPro quickly enters Gabe's mind, causing him to enter God mode and block the attack. They all stare at each other and a fight breaks out. Funny says, what on earth is happening? Why are they on fire? Cool says, I don't know. It could. Cool falls to the ground, holding his chest. Jabber, Sid, VF, and Ari soon follow after him. George says, oh shoot, you guys all right? What's up? Hey, are they okay, says V?
We have no idea. It only started happening when those guys caught fire.
Okay, guys, I have no idea what this is, but this needs to stop right now. They stay silent and continue throwing punches at Gabe. He dodges and blocks each punch. Gabe, this is becoming too much. You're too powerful, even for me. Okay, V, come on. We're leaving this place. I guess I just need to accept the fact that my friends are gone for good. Sineva says, don't think this is over, Gabe. You're not dead yet, but you may as well be halfway into that grave. Gabe, GWallPro, and V make their way out. Game Hopper says, ha, that was such an awesome fight. Hunter says, I have no idea why they randomly set fire, but it was so cool. Casey says, yeah, it really was. Did you see that, QB?
Oh, QB sure did see it. He also saw that he now has a million theories to write once he gets back to the Upside Down.
Blue says, oh, right. You're staying here now, aren't you? That'll be fun.
That's right. QB probably should have brought all this stuff first.
Game Hopper says, actually, QB, it may be best for you to go back with Gabe, at least for tonight. We want to have him think you're still on his side. What do you say?
QB understands. He'll go back just for tonight. Tell Mudkip or someone that I left, though.
QB leaves the death trap to join back with Gabe. Hey, Game Hopper, says Casey. Hunter, is it okay with you to take us back to the Upside Down? Blue says, yeah, our young kid bodies need rest. Game Hopper says, you two aren't the only one. Grab onto me and I can teleport you back. The 4 of them teleport away. Mablem says, whoa, hold on. It looks like they're getting up. Game Hopper says, ugh, what the heck just happened? We're not sure ourselves, says Ritz. Anyways, why on earth are you guys trying to kill Gabe? That's none of your business, says Puffy. Yeah, I disagree. That is very much our business, says Rich. Rich, George, Mabel, Rob, and Funny are hit across the head and knocked out. Fire, she says, okay, we can just throw them somewhere in the upside down and keep them there for a bit. As for you 5, you will tell no other living soul about what happened here today. And if you do, you get 2 options. One, you die. Or 2, the All Pros will find out who let the giant enemy spider in. Pick your poison. They put the fake smile on their face before walking away. Cool. What do we do, says Sid? Just don't be scared of the smile. Even the fake one may soon fade, says Cool. The 5 of them begin to walk out of the death trap. And that is the end of chapter 13. Woo! Okay. Really good chapter. I know that was pretty darn solid. Pretty darn solid chapter, Mudkip. A lot of action going on in there. Insanity. I'm a wanted man on these streets, apparently. Oh, man. We'll see what happens. Everyone is turning against me. It seems like we're having more of a civil war as opposed to solving the apocalypse, but we'll just have to see what happens. Okay. Chapter 14. Oh, speaking of the Civil War, here we go. Battle of the Original All Pros. All right. Chapter 14 is called Battle of the Original All Pros. The music for this one is, fittingly enough, it is called Root of Corruption Part 1 from Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Civil War mid-apocalypse. Nice. I know, right? The one where lore changed. Well, we'll see what happens. All right. Here we go. This song is how you promote the the one where lore changed. Oh, that's how you promote it. Gotcha. Okay. I could get behind this. We're on chapter 14 already. It's crazy to think that we're not even halfway done with the story yet, but hey, we'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll get as far as we can tonight. Could be a vibe. It's from Sparks of Hope, so it could be a vibe. All right. Here we are leaving the death trap. We knew the others have changed, but setting up this elaborate trap just to take Gabe's life is a new low none of us could have seen coming. And what was with that setting on fire and becoming unbelievably powerful? I just don't understand. Hopefully things can go back to normal soon. And hopefully QB turns up at some point. No idea where he could have gone. I'm not sure how to feel. Something's off and I'm not sure what. I know I've been telling everyone to be prepared just in case something were to happen, but I don't know if I'm prepared myself. But enough worrying, everything will be okay. Gabe, GWallPro, and V walk back home still thinking about what happened.
Gabe, behind you!
Well, speak of the devil. QB, where have you been? What happened to you?
Cupid isn't too sure. You guys okay?
V says, barely. My leg already got hurt enough in that death trap, and now we have to walk all the way back to Jesse's house. Well, all 3 of you can levitate. I'm the only one that has to walk, but we're fine.
Okay. Oh no, he's nearby again.
V says, he's nearby? Who's he? Who's nearby? You're sensing Cubop's presence again, aren't you? That must mean he's with GWallPro and the Paradoxical Enigma. Do you know how close they are?
All Cubit knows is that they are getting closer. And they aren't stopping.
They're up to something. I'm gonna get us help just in case. Gabe begins to call Jesse. Hey Jesse, can I talk to you for a second? Jesse says, yeah, we're just here making banana bread. Oh man, it burns, says Lumina. All right, that's a good callback to the skit. Well, we were making banana bread. Is everything okay, says Jesse? I need you to bring everyone here. We might have to take on GWallPro soon. All right, I'll tell everyone, says Jesse. Jesse hangs up. What's up, Charles Baton? Thanks for stopping by. Everyone, get to the garage right now, says Jesse. Turquoise says, Jesse, what's going on? Also, you have a garage? Jesse says, yes, I do, and we need to go to it right now. Gabe is in trouble. Escape says, trouble? Whoa, now, what kind of trouble? T-Man says, and how is going to the garage going to help him? Jesse says, GWallPro's about to attack, and we need to get there as quickly as possible. Jesse opens the garage door, revealing the Bugatti limo. Wow. Okay. Ray says, whoa, it's the Bugatti limousine thingy. I didn't know we still had this. Jesse says, wow. How have you all been here for 8 months and never looked in the garage? Doesn't matter. Everyone hop in. We're about to go on the ride of our lives. GWallPros enter the limo and drive away. V says, when do you think they're going to get here? No idea. Let's just hope they get here soon.
Gabe, it looks like GWallPro might get here sooner.
They all hide behind trees and look in the distance. We're on our way to wreak some havoc.
Okay, no offense, PD, but you are really tone deaf. Also, why are you still on that dude's body, and why are you wearing that dumb cloak?
Dang, why are you being my biggest hater all of a sudden? Hop off my grind set, bro. What I'm curious right now, maybe Mudkip will have this. It's the one thing I use as an excuse to reference one line of the Ninja Hideaway rap in book 2. Oh, the Bugatti thing. Okay, that's funny. The one question I have currently is, I know I don't really stop mid chapter, but the one question I have is that how was GWallPro able to recognize Edward as his grandfather, but GWallPro doesn't recognize Edward the grandfather just yet? Unless GWallPro knew that Edward was his grandfather going into this, but he's just kind of calling him some random old man. That part doesn't make sense to me just yet. Maybe at some point GWallPro will know that it's his grandfather, or maybe he already knows. I don't know. We have yet to find out. But if GWallPro knows that Edward was the grandfather in that whose body was possessed, shouldn't GWallPro know as well? But who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyways, where was I?
Okay, no offense, PD, you're really tone deaf. Also, why are you still in that dude's body, and why are you wearing that dumb cloak?
Paradox Winneman says, dang, why are you being my biggest hater all of a sudden? Hop off my grind set, bro.
Okay, wait, no, not yet. Why are we slowly walking into that stupid mall? We could have literally just crashed down into the place.
Oh yeah, I know, but who's the one here that can kinda see into the future? I've seen the outcomes of this, and I know walking is in the best direction.
Cubop senses something. Cubit.
Case in point, says Paradox Winneman. Buddy, Arthur, you and Cubop go and take those other losers to find Gabe. All right, PE. Come on, everyone. Let's go find Gabe. Oh, Edward has the cloak on. GWallPro hasn't seen without it. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. That's right. I forgot about the whole cloak situation. By the gods, I'm late. What's up, Luna? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming through. They all walk off following Cubop.
So, I'm being here was eternity. What are you planning to do?
You'll see, my ferocious friend. You'll see. Plus, my plans for today are very themed around you. I think you'll like this next step quite a lot.
Yeah, that's if. Now I'm willing to see what you have to offer.
Cubop, Arthur, and the rest of the crew begin to approach Gabe. They're getting closer. What do we do, says V? Let's just back away and try not to be seen. DOV shoots at Gabe with her gassy blaster. Oh, sassafras, we've been seen. Ha! Look at them, says DOV trying to run. Isabel, hook 'em. Gotcha, DOV, says Isabel. Isabel holds her fishing rod and hooks V to drag him closer, but he breaks free. V says, shoot, Gabe, do you have a plan or something? Buck says, no plan is saving you from us, mate. We're your worst nightmares. Louis says, yeah, soon we'll be cooking and trying you up for dinner. Arthur says, too far, Louis.
Enough! All of you.
GWallPro walks towards everyone with the paradoxical enigma sitting on his shoulder. GWallPro, paradoxical enigma. Hi, Pookie, says paradoxical enigma.
Please shut up. Anyways, hello, Gabe. Cubit, V, I think your name was, and good old Gabriel. Nice to see you again, brother.
Wish I could say the same thing about you, Howard. I haven't been able to for over 500 years. I bet you and your team are so proud of what this apocalypse has become.
You could say that, but things will soon change for the better. I assume you want to stop me from doing that.
Great assumption. You'd be correct, says GWallPro.
Oh, well, we can't have that happen, can we? Okay, y'all, hold him down.
What? GWallPro Cruise begins to hold down Gabe, V, QB, and GWallPro. Howard, what are you doing? Are you crazy?
Hell yeah, I am, Gabriel. I have been for over 500 years. You lock me away in pros that give me more and more time to go insane. More and more time to gain more power. Power I shall use to kill all 4 of them.
GWallPro begins to charge a beam from his fist. Wait, I have an offer for you.
Offer? What offer?
We have a fight. Just me and you. No one else on our team is involved. We only stop when we either both give up or one of us knocks out the other. Just like the fight we had 500 years ago.
Oh, our iconic fight that ended with you freezing me in Pro State for centuries. You know, when I finally thought I was told myself that the battle never actually ended, it just halted. You never won, but why do that? I have you right where I want you. Now I can kill you.
Take the offer, you idiot, says Paradoxical Enigma.
What? This is stupid. I can't just kill him right now. Why would I want to risk it?
Do I need to repeat myself from earlier? I've seen the outcome of this. Now do as I say, Howard.
Fine. Gabriel, I'll take you up on that offer. Let go of him.
GWallPro's crew lets go of Gabe, V, and QB. GWallPro, this is crazy. Let us help. I've made a deal, Gabe. I shall not break it. Okay, says Paradoxical Enigma. Everyone, we've got a fight on our hands, meaning the entertainment has finally arrived. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. 2 of them get into position to fight with everyone else watching from the sides. Hold on, says Paradoxical Enigma. Before you 2 idiots fight, I want to add a rule. You both get to have your helper cubes by your side. They can't, quote-unquote, directly attack anyone, though.
Oh, come on. You're making me work with this idiot? How is he supposed to help me?
Oh, don't you worry, Howard. I'm sure GWallPro will be a great help to you. If he wasn't there, I'd probably have an easier time beating you.
Don't worry, Lord GWallPro. GWallPro will be a good help. He promises.
Yeah, if only that was true.
QB hopes GWallPro doesn't always talk to GWallPro like that.
Knowing him, he definitely does. Just try not to worry about it. Alrighty, this is Paradoxical Enigma. I want a clean fight. Wait, no I don't. I legitimately do not care. You guys just do you. Make the best original All-Pro win. GWallPro and GWallPro stare at each other from across the way before beginning to dash towards each other. Rocks and dirt zooming out of the way as they get closer and closer. Their fists clash and they begin to throw flurries of punches and kicks, each one being dodged. GWallPro kicks GWallPro into the shoulder, into the boulders behind him, causing them to shatter instantly. He gets up as if there is no problem.
Oh shoot, are you okay, GWallPro?
Yes, I'm fine, Cubop. Now why would you please? Now would you please heal me with my back?
Cubop attaches himself to GWallPro's back to heal it. GWallPro ignites his fist with a beam and punches the ground, causing a large shockwave that stuns GWallPro. GWallPro quickly picks a tree up from the ground and throws it with enough force to send GWallPro to the ground. As he is hit, he quickly gets back up and shakes it off as if it were no problem.
Wow, you're taking all these hits as if there's no problem.
Yep, the problem is Howard is as well. You think you could do something to possibly make my hit stronger?
I can attach my pixels to your arms. That might help.
Cool, go for it.
These 2 are planning something.
Well, obviously. Listen to what they're saying.
He's going to use QB to power up his attacks. What do you want QBop to do?
I'm gonna need you to block those attacks and do the same thing back.
Block them? QBop doesn't know if he can do that.
Well, you're gonna have to try.
GWallPro rushes towards GWallPro with QB's pixels attached to his arms. QBop quickly attaches to GWallPro's arms, turning himself into a shield and blocks GWallPro's punch. QBop then quickly attaches to GWallPro's arms to power up his punch. GWallPro's punched in the stomach and sends him flying back, crashing into the trees and rocks behind him. No! This is Gabe and V. Ah, hell yeah, Howard. Y'all seeing this? Arthur, says Paradoxical Enigma. Something's coming towards us, says Arthur. They spot the All-Pros in the Bugatti limo thingy getting closer and closer. Paradoxical Enigma says, wow, that car is weird and ugly. It's also obviously contains All-Pros. Arthur, you and the other idiots, go deal with them, okay? Arthur says, on it, my lord. Everyone, let's go again. The 5 of them run down and clash with the All-Pros. Oh, shoot. What are those guys up to? V, could you? Don't worry. Gabe, I'm on it, says V. Katrina says, does anyone see Gabe, QB, GWallPro, V? Anyone? Jamie says, not one person is in sight. Are we sure we're in the right place? Gold Guy says, you guys might want to take a look ahead of us right now. They watch as multiple beams and explosions are fired in the distance. Oh, ain't that fun, says Midden. We're driving towards chaos and destruction on purpose. What does our lives come to? MTT says, wait, do I think I see someone coming towards us? Jesse says, you're right. Doesn't look like Gabe, though. It kind of looks like. Dove and very scary. Oh, come on. Ray says, yikes, Jesse, you might need to let us out for a bit. Jesse stops the car and everyone exits, coming to face to face with Arthur, DOV, Buck Bumble, Isabel, and Louie. Oh, says Arthur. Wasn't expecting all of you to make an appearance. Escape says, enough of all the talk, bud. Where's Gabe? Gabe is fine, says Arthur. For now. The thing is, there's kind of a battle going on right now, and we can't have you interfering. T-Main says, so you want to get rid of us? Is that what you're trying to say? Well, not exactly, says Arthur. Hey, someone's coming in from behind us. They all noticed V quickly flying towards the group. Come down, mates. I got this, says Buck. Buck Bumble flies up and grabs V by the collar as he flies above them. Buck proceeds to nosedive into the ground while holding onto V with enough force to make V's nose bleed on impact. Ah, damn it. You guys okay? Says V. Says Arthur. Well, even if we're planning to, you all seem ready to fight. If that's what you want, then that's what you shall get. Isabel says, Arthur, are you sure about this? Arthur says, when have I not been? DOV charges up and shoots a beam at the All-Pros. They all dodge a beam and a fight breaks out between the two sides. Jesse says, oh great, this wasn't supposed to happen. What are we supposed to do now? Teammate says, we might just have to let the All-Pros deal with this while we go try and help Gabe with whatever's happening over there. Escape says, how are we supposed to get out of this though? Jesse's leg gets hooked by Isabel's fishing rod and he's dragged closer to her and Buck Bumble. Ah, whoa, hold on, says Jesse. Buck says, ha, nice catch, Isabel. Isabel says, thank you. Now hurry and do your thing. With pleasure, says Buck. Buck Bumble points two of his guns and points them at Jesse. Teammate runs up and snatches Isabel's fishing rod from her hands and uses it to hit both Buck Bumble's guns out of his hands. Escape quickly grabs both of the guns and points them at Isabel and Buck Bumble, causing them to back up into Louie. What are you two doing? Oh, shoot. Buck says, okay, you may have gotten us backed up, but you still ain't. MTT says, Minion, use discharge, please. Minion says, oh yeah, with pleasure. Minion uses discharge, electrocuting the three of them. V quickly lifts them up in the air, leaving them unable to do anything. Isabel says, let us down right now. This is not nice. V says, oh, no. This is not nice. Yeah, great observation, dog girl. Arthur says, DOV, quick, do something while he's not paying attention. DOV's, don't have to tell me twice, Arthur. DOV charges up a beam from her Gatser blaster and fires it at V. He uses his psychic abilities to bring Louie, Isabel, and Buck down to get hit by the blast instead while protecting himself. Back to GWallPro, TRILOGY. I don't even want to know what all those noises are over there. Paradox Squidman says, man, I love hearing all the noises over there.
You crazy weirdo! Hey, are things still on track for your plan?
They sure are, says the Paradoxical Enigma. Just gotta keep this up and nothing will go wrong. I'm sure you'll make the right choices.
Yeah, so am I. But how would GWall need to help me for though?
I don't know. You find out, says Paradoxical Enigma. Hey, are you two gonna keep talking or are we gonna get back to fighting?
You could have just attacked while they were talking.
I have a moral boundary, QB.
Since when?
Alright, enough of your bantering.
GWallPro dashes towards GWallPro and swipes his legs while sending him straight to the ground. GWallPro quickly hops up and uppercuts GWallPro. GWallPro catches his balance, and the two of them once again begin to throw kicks and punches at each other.
Come on, you got this, GWallPro. Don't get your hopes up, bro. The Paradoxical Enigma has everything planned out. There's no way we lose this. There's no way it loses this. There's no way you're getting anything from this, Cubop. It doesn't even sound like anyone over there cares about you. They care about Cubop. They need him for this. Why wouldn't they care about him?
GWall, can you do your job and help me?
Cubop flies over to GWallPro with QB following.
Yes, Lord GWallPro?
What's the matter, brother? Am I becoming too much for you to handle? Need help from your helper cube?
Yes, I do. I need yours too.
GWallPro quickly grabs QB and begins to slowly crush him in his hands. GWallPro quickly runs up and attempts to take QB back. Howard, let go of him right now!
I don't think I will, GWall.
Cubit? Cubit, are you okay?
GWallPro grabs Cubop and kicks GWallPro into the rocks behind him, cracking the rocks. GWallPro shoved QB into Cubop and QB. Oh my gosh. GWallPro shoved QB and Cubop onto GWallPro's chest and held them in place. Ugh, Howard, what are you doing? That's your own helper cube and you're hurting him.
The little idiot needs to feel a little pain for once.
Cubop, you okay, bro? Cubop?
Cubop stays silent. Dang, says Paradoxical Enigma. The man is really taking this to the extreme. Just the entertainment I need. No, says Edward. What the? Says Paradoxical Enigma. Still fighting back, huh? Let it go, Ed. Let it happen.
Cubop, if you want to help, then I need you to explode yourself.
Cubop continues to stay silent. What? Howard, no!
Shut it! Did you hear me, Cubop? I said explode yourself. I know you can. Maybe explode that green one as well. You're not answering me. PD, help me out here.
Oh, do I need to do everything for you, says Paradoxical Enigma? No, says Edward. Paradoxical Enigma explodes both QB and Cubop, causing their pixels to fall to the floor. GWallPro sent flying into the rocks behind him, destroying each and every one. Brother, please.
Don't plead for mercy when facing the game. You're better off pleading for death.
Meanwhile, oh, come on, says Arthur. I know it's 4 against however many, but this is just sad. DOV, you think instead of shooting your blaster from the sidelines, you could hop in and help them? What? Why? Says DOV. I'm doing more like this than any of them. I don't see you doing anything. Arthur gives an angry and slightly terrifying look. Oh, fine, says DOV. You're lucky the Paradoxical Enigma likes you so much. DOV runs to fight the All-Pros, and Arthur looks at her with gratitude. Very Scary says, hey, Arthur, funny running into you again. Arthur says, well, if it isn't number 4, the one that turned on us and was plotting behind our back. Very Scary says, okay, buddy. My name is Very Scary. I'm using your real name, so I would appreciate it if you used mine. I wouldn't want anything to do with that code anymore. Arthur says, well, okay then, Very Scary. You know, it's a very fitting name for someone so afraid of seeing death. Ray says, hey, don't you dare say a word about him. Arthur says, and what are you going to do about it, monkey ball boy? Dove says, he can actually do quite a lot to you, and so can I with this blaster on my hand. Arthur says, getting all your friends to help you, I see. Well then, Very Scary. I guess I'll give you what you want. Where did he go? Very Scary appears behind Arthur, and he punches him in the back of the head, knocking him down to the floor. Arthur lunges at Very Scary, but Dove and Ray stop him and slam him into the ground. DOV says, can you guys please step it up? I shouldn't be doing all the work. Hold on. Is Arthur being... leave this guy alone for 2 minutes, and this is what happens. Arthur says, you know, I liked you, Very Scary. I don't want to believe the Paradoxical Enigma when it told me to be worried about you. You could have had all the All-Pro energy you wanted, all the respect you wanted, all the... Very Scary says, oh my god, Arthur, shut the hell up. A beam is fired at Dove, Ray, and Very Scary, but it misses all of them. DOV says, it isn't the original herself. Nice coming face to face for the first time since we split. Oh, by the way, I had a little talk with Rogue a few days ago. Dove says, I don't want to hear it, DOV. Very Scary says, why don't you two go deal with her? I can handle Arthur myself. Ray and Dove nod as they run off to fight DOV. Dove and DOV continuously shoot beams at each other from their gaster blaster. DOV says, I don't know why you're even trying to fight. You know you can't bring yourself to kill me. Dove says, I'm fighting you back to get you back. You are a part of me. I would never try to kill you. DOV says, so what are you going to try to maim or seriously injure me? Good luck with that. DOV points her gaster blaster at Dove, but Ray runs in and shoves her arm, causing her to shoot up into the sky. Dove uses her gaster blaster to quickly blast DOV and send her flying while she has an opening. Ray says, whoa, nice shot, Dove. Dove says, thanks for giving me an opening. Very Scary says, guys, help. They turn to see Arthur holding Very Scary, making sure he's unable to move. Ray says, let's go after him right now, Arthur. Let go of him right now, Arthur. Arthur says, or what? You'll shoot me with that blaster. You can't shoot me without shooting your friend as well. Dove says, don't try me. Keep playing games and you'll find out what this thing can do. Very Scary says, Dove, don't. I'll just hit him once, then I'll go ghost. Very Scary elbows Arthur in the stomach, then disappears into the ground. Arthur says, what the? Oh, come on. Where did you go? Oh, shoot. Arthur is blasted by Dove's gaster blaster. Very Scary says, man, watching that was so satisfying. Dove says, how do you think I felt doing it? They begin to hear the sound of the gaster blaster charging up, so they turn around to see DOV pointing hers at 3 of them. Dove points her gaster blaster at DOV. Ray says, maybe you should have charged a little earlier. We wouldn't have heard you. DOV says, oh, shut up. I'm ending this right now. Dove says, not if I end it first. They fire their beams and they clash, creating a large explosion that obscures the field. Oh man, I hope they're all okay. They'll be fine, Gabe. I know they will be. What about you? Don't worry about me.
Still getting yourself together?
You knocked me into 39 large rocks.
Why didn't you count?
I don't know. I'm tired of all this. What happened to the brother I would go on adventures with? What happened to the brother that was always by my side? What happened to the brother that I loved?
Someone locked him away a long, long time ago. Maybe I should do the same to you.
GWallPro begins to glow and dash towards GWallPro. GWallPro attempts to block the attack, but GWallPro punches him into the ground, leaving a giant crater. GWallPro fires a beam from his hands, but GWallPro catches it and throws it back at him. Paradoxical Enigma says, okay, not who I was rooting for, but still peak entertainment. I can feel you resisting. Your grandkids are strong. They'll be fine. Worried about the cubes? They'll reform and be just fine too. The Paradoxical Enigma begins to slowly move forward uncontrollably. You meant the world to me. When Mom and Dad died, you were all I had left, and this is how you repay me?
You were the one that left me frozen in Bro's Gate for 500 years!
GWallPro tries to punch GWallPro, but he catches it and throws a rally of punches himself. GWallPro makes a blade out of energy and prepares to stab GWallPro. Edward says, no! The Paradoxical Enigma runs up and rips the cloak off, revealing Edward. Cubit and Cubop reform on the floor below.
Eddie? How do we know him?
Grandfather?
Did you not know?
No. How are you alive? What are you doing to him?
Paradoxical Enigma says, I've been keeping him alive for helping me for all these years, but now he is stepping out of line. I will not sit and watch as my grandchildren kill each other. I will not sit and watch as Cubit and Cubop are hurt. I will not watch as you destroy this world. The Paradoxical Enigma exits Edward's body. Then don't, says P.E. If you don't want to help me, then don't. I don't have to keep you alive anymore. Now we can stop getting in each other's way. Enjoy your last days of life. Edward looks up at the Paradoxical Enigma and walks away. Paradoxical Enigma says, goodbye, friend. What are you two doing? Get back to fighting. Whoa. Nah, hold on, says GWallPro. We want to know what's up with our grand... GWallPro punches GWallPro in the face, then holds him by the neck. No, stop! Brother, what are you doing?
Gabriel, that fight we had 500 years ago that started all of this. Do you think you really won that? You did it. Neither did I. Our battle never ended. It had only just begun. And it's time with its final wings.
Howard, please. GWallPro makes a blade out of energy and impales GWallPro through the stomach. Everyone stays completely silent, and GWallPro takes the blade out and GWallPro falls to the floor. Paradoxical Enigma says, great job, Howard. We're running late. We need to get to the upside down.
All right. Come on, Cubop. Believe it. Oh, and by the way, you do what I say, so never do whatever that was again.
Okay, I'm sorry.
They all begin to move away. Arthur says, come on, everyone. It seems like we're leaving. They begin to follow GWallPro. Ray picks up a dropped phone as they move away. Something's happening, says Ray. What's going on? Jesse says, I don't know, but we need to find out. The GWallPros run to see GWallPro laying on the floor and Gabe and Cubit beside him. What the heck happened? Is he all right, says V?
GWallPro stabbed him, but we don't know what to do.
Gabe says, GWallPro, look at me. Okay, man, you're going to be fine, okay? We can get you help. Fix you up. You're going to be fine. Gabe, it's okay. You don't have to do anything, all right? No, stop. I'm going to help you. We are going to help you. I'm not leaving you like this. Gabe, I have been in a limbo between life and death for centuries. I'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll all be fine. I told you to be prepared for death. Now it's time for that. GWallPro touches Gabe's arm and it begins to glow slightly. GWallPro, please. You can't. Stay all pro. GWallPro's body turns to light and fades away. Jesse says, Gabe, are you okay? No, I'm not. Gabe begins to cry and everyone else starts to do the same. As the tears run down his face, Gabe begins to glow brighter and brighter. He lets out a scream and enters God mode. Ray says, whoa, Gabe, calm down. Wait, look at yourself. What do you mean? I'm in God mode? How? GWallPro was the only reason I was able to use it.
He gave you his power. That's what that touch on the arm was. He transferred them to you before he died.
He says, so what does that mean? It means I carry on everything he left. And we finished this for him. We can't cry about this any longer. GWallPro is still doing stuff and someone needs to stop him. And who better to do it than the All-Pros? This is all ending soon. Don't know if we're gonna win or if we're gonna lose, but it's ending. Come on, everyone. Let's get back home. Gabe exits God mode and everyone goes back to the Bugatti limo. Duff says, well, this was one heck of an eventful day. Hey, Ray, what are you holding? Ray says, seems to be Arthur's phone. I want to try and get on it to see if there's anything on it, but I need a password. Very Scary says, try 1981. It was the year the Rainbow Crew first aired. He used it as a password for everything in the cult. Ray says, okay. Hey, it worked. We can look through it later. Dove says, hey, QB, want to join us and look through this?
Man, I hope you're okay, Cuba.
QB stuff?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, QB will look through it with you.
Jesse says, okay, everyone. Seems to be doing a bit better now. Hey, I'm really sorry about what happened to GWallPro, Gabe. It's fine. He said it'll be fine and we'll be fine. I never believed someone more in my life than in that moment. Jesse says things are going to be very different now, aren't they? Yeah, but that's just getting started. They continue to drive away. They drive away with hope. And that is the end of chapter 14. Wow, with just about a minute and a half left of the song. Woo! What a chapter. What a chapter. And with that, Laura's changed. Rest in peace, GWallPro. It's just Gabe. I've lost my brand identity. It's over. It is over. I'm kidding. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, I think we're making some decent pace. Kind of, maybe. We'll see what happens. I think we're just about getting towards about just about getting to the halfway point of the whole lore, so we'll see how this goes. Six chapters remaining. We got chapter 15. This one is called A Web of Lies. This one, Web of Lies, will be used by the song The One Who Controls the World plus the Beast's something from Kirby in the Forgotten World. The Beast's Prey. Oh, Forgotten Land. My bad. Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Woo! All right. Did a Hollow Knight boss beat? I would assume so. Well, best of luck. Maybe this chapter you'll beat it. Okay. Yeah, I did correct myself. Yeah, I know. Forgotten World. That's the next Kirby game. Forgotten World. We always gotta start with the land first and then the world. Super Mario Land, Super Mario World, Super Mario 3 Land, 3 World, Kirby in the Forgotten Land. Next up, Kirby in the Forgotten World. That's just kind of how it goes. Start with the land and then you go to the world. Okay. Chapter 15, Web of Lies. Signeva, Mudkip, Plastic Fire, Yoshi, Puffy, and Sparky sit in the electronics store with the Rainbow Crew. Oh gosh, it's purple. I can barely read purple. Hey, are you guys okay? This is purple. You've been sitting here thinking for the 30 minutes. For the 30 minutes and thinking was something I didn't even know you guys could do. Sparky says, first of all, ouch. Second, yeah, we didn't know we could do that either. And third, we're just waiting for the other to get everyone's consensus on us. Yellow says, yeah, none of us are above 10 years old yet. We have no idea what a consensus is. Oh, right. We're basically trying to see what the All-Pros think of us. You know, if they like us or not, if they respect and care about us. Green says, okay, why would you need to know that? Fire says, it's going to influence the choice we make at the end of the day. What choices, Red? Oh, well, we're back, says Game Hopper. We're back, gamers. We got our All-Pro contestants thing or whatever. Mudkip says, oh, cool. What did everyone say? Hammerstein says, are you guys sure you guys want to know this info? I don't know what this choice is you're going to make, but I really don't think this should influence it. Glasshead says, Hammerstein, we need to know this, please. Hammerstein says, okay, fine. Maybe it would be best if I just described what happened. Dramatic flashback noises. Riley says, hey, sorry to bother you guys, but could we ask you something? Star says, sure. What is it you need to ask us? Hunter says, what do you think about our homies, broskies, mentally unstable freaks we call friends? Riley says you could probably figure out who he means by that last one. Lila says, yeah, I know who he means. We're talking about those losers that do nothing but push everyone around and think they're better than everyone. A bunch of jokes. Max says, hey, I need to ask you guys something. What do y'all think of Fire Yoshi, Sparky, Puffy, you know, the whole group? Cat says, what do we think about them? I don't know. They were great before, but now they're so off. Just don't really know how to feel about it. Rogue says, I'm so confused. What is it you're trying to ask? Kitty says, we basically need to know if you like those 6 and the things they're doing. Game Hopper says, yeah, simple question, man. Just answer it. Rogue says, oh, well, I mean, they've been better. They're not all like they used to be, and I don't really like the things they've been making us do. Jack and 44 says, so you just want us to say if we like them or not? Xavier's like, yeah, that's what they asked. They didn't really say why. Professor Shy Guy says, well, then you can tell them that they're a bunch of no-life control freaks that can't do anything for themselves. Jack says, well, I wouldn't say it like that, or at least not with that exact wording. Wow, okay. Noted that, says Xavier. Hammerstein says, so where did you say they were again? Casey says, they're right through there, Hammerstein. Oh my.
Great news! Oh, great. Have you guys come to let us out of this?
Casey says, no, not exactly. We just want to know if you guys liked, you know, the guys that put you in here. Red says, like them? Why would we like them? They tried to kill our friend and locked us in here with nothing. I guess just now we have to accept the fact that they're awful people now. Game Hopper says, okay, this is the last group. Cool, VF, Sid, Ari, and J-Bear. Thomas says, do we even have to go to this one? I think we all already know how they feel. Game Hopper says, yeah, I know, but we're already here, so hey, cool. What do you and this wacky bunch think of our buds? Cool says, they are weird. The fake smile is terrifying, and it feels like every nice thing they do is an act, and because everyone is afraid of them, they have so much power over us. We just want the old them back. And that was basically the extent of it, says Hammerstein. They all go silent. Riley says, I'm not too sure what you guys were expecting, though. Not to go against you, but you have been a lot meaner and angrier to the All-Pros. Puffy says, yeah, like most of them aren't any different. This apocalypse has changed everyone, and we get flack for it. They need us to lead them, or they would be out here killing each other. Glassman says, so what if they consider us awful people? We're trying to do a good thing helping these kids. None of them are doing that. All they do is try to survive and hope for the best. Daniel says, those guys barely even talk to each other anymore or show that they care for each other, yet they expect us to care about them. They want the old us back. Well, they didn't really show it when the old us was there. Mudkip says, and yeah, we put on an act, but it doesn't do anything for us. This place is our open casket that everyone is trying to mask, an attraction. That's all we are to anyone. I guess you only learn what you're really worth when you're gone. Fireshine says, well, now there's nothing left to do. I guess we'll just get going on the plan now that our collective conscience is twisted up. We aren't alone, though. It's comforting knowing we're not the only ones going crazy, says Fire Yoshi. Thomas says, listen, I've known you guys for over a year, and I do know the old you would never care about what the others think about you. The All-Bros clearly have their own problems, so you guys can focus on yours, and we'll help you through it. Sparky says, thanks, Thomas, but we probably should get back to our plan. Orange says, oh yeah, you still never told us what your plan was. Sunny says, blowing up the upside down. You're what, says everyone? Okay, it's nothing extreme. It's not even the entire building. Our plan is to get all the All-Pros in one place filled with explosives and set them all off. Yeah, maybe this path is gory, but in the end, all of us will have glory and justice. He says, well, what about all of us? Wouldn't we get hurt in the explosions? Casey says, yeah, this isn't some elaborate plan to get us killed, is it? Mudkip says, nah, you guys will be with Hammerstein, Game Hopper, Hunter, and the Hornets up here while it happens. Red says, I don't know, this still doesn't sound like a good idea. We can change our mind. Riley says, kids, no, it'll be fine. These guys know what's best. We should trust them. Purple says, are you serious? We're just supposed to let them blow everyone up? Thomas says, none of us want this to happen, but if we want to keep ourselves safe, then this is our best shot. Mudkip says, Game Hammer, Hunter, you two and the Hornets, go set everything up, please. Hammerstein says, you guys are really doing this. Sparky says, we think it'll be for the best. Hey, does anyone else hear that sound? Kind of like a whoosh? I think I do. Almost sounds like it's coming from the wall, says Puffy. Puffy puts his head up against the wall as the sound gets closer and closer. The All Pros look back at everyone quickly and zip back to grab and carry them away as the wall suddenly explodes in a purple and black blast. Oh, what the hell was that, says Xavier. Flasston says there were multiple shadow missiles coming towards us. The Upside Down is under attack. By who, says Max. Downstairs by the entrance, the All Pros gather trying to find out what's happening. GMH says, guys, what's going on? What's with all those explosions? Ian says something's being fired at us. Shadow missiles, I think. Gale says, shadow missiles? Who would have something like that? Rogue says, wait, it sounds like another one is coming. Everyone back away from the glass right now. A missile crashes through the large mass of glass, causing it to come down on the All Pros. Ian uses his magic to catch the glass and disintegrate before it hurts anyone.
Well. Thank the All Pros.
Professor Shy Guy says, well, if it ain't GWallPro and his ragtag group of pieces of crap.
Wow, what a fun of a turn in for us. I see your group has gotten much smaller.
Star says, okay, 5 of us have gone missing and the rest of us are losing their minds, but that doesn't mean we can't take you all down.
Is that so? What do you think?
Paradox Glimmer says, nah fam, no cap, all these suckers finna die. About to get straight up clapped.
Why are you talking about
Mudkip, Saniva, Puffy, Sparky, Flash, and Fire Yoshi zip to the entrance and look GWallPro directly in the eye. You shouldn't be in here, GWallPro, says Saniva.
Well, according to BE, I should be. But don't worry, it's going to be very quick.
Fire says, don't know if I'd call it quick. Not for us, at least.
What? About a bunch of All Pros in a little All Pro hideout actually gonna be me?
Mudkip says, oh, this ain't just some All-Pro hideout. You should know that as the master of the world of horror so profound. Mudkip, Fire, Flash, and Puffy, Sunny, and Sparky. This is the Upside Down. All their bodies ignite in All-Pro colored flames once more and launch themselves toward GWallPro.
What the? What is this?
Flash says, we have no idea. Isn't it the strangest thing?
PE, did you do this?
Paradox Glimmer says, hey, can the 6 of you go deal with some of these All-Pros while I dip for a while?
Wait, what?
The Paradox Glimmer flies up into space without saying another word.
Dude, where are you going? Oh, never mind. You all heard what it said. Go take these guys down. I'll take care of the ones that are on fire.
GWallPro's group runs off, each taking on a different group of All Pros. Ari says, have the explosions stopped yet? Vietnam Farmer says, I think so. Oh, GWallPro's here. Ain't that stellar? Jabber says, oh, come on, GWallPro's here. Are we supposed to take him down? Sid says, cool, do you have any idea of what we should do? Cool says, you guys go help the All Pros. I'm gonna go find whatever Ritz and the rest of my group are locked up. Remember what I said in the death trap. Enough being scared. Good luck. Cool runs off. Vietnam Farmer says, well, I hope you guys are ready to get hurt. Ari says, basically how I start my day in the battle. Lila says, whew, are you guys all okay? Gail says, surprisingly. But what are we even supposed to do in a situation like this? Maybe you just give up, says Isabel. I mean, we could, says Gail, but then we would probably just, oh my gosh, it's you. Isabel says, yep, silly little me. I want to make this easy for both of us. Just give up and I won't have to use my slingshot, fishing rod, you name it. Lila says, you really think we're just going to give up and let you kill us? Isabel says, who says you'll die? Fighting is what leads you down that path. But if it's really what you want, Isabel points her slingshot at Stars Island Gale, but Sid runs and shoves her out of the way. Gale says, whoa, Sid, where have you been? Sid says, facing my fears. Now, do you guys need a confidence boost? Star says, well, if it's from you, then absolutely. Sid points her arms out towards the All Pros and boosts their confidence. They all run towards Isabel, throwing punches and kicks out her while also avoiding a majority of her attacks. Sid says, yes, you guys are doing great. A minute explosive lands by Sid, and she jumps out the way before it goes off. Or a 1 minute explosive, I see. Okay. Sid says, what was that? Amethyst says, sorry about that, Sid. It's just someone won't stand still. Maybe you just need to get better at hitting me. Eo says, maybe I can try hitting him. Evie, use quick attack, then Swift. Evie! Evie runs up to Louie while swiftly dodges both quick attack and Swift. Come on, give me a challenge or food. That also works. Oh man, nice try, Evie, says Theo. Kat says, oh no, what do we do now? Ari says, I have an idea. Heidi and Gabuskin says, Ari! Ari says, hey you two. Sorry I haven't really been there. Hey Cats, can you command these two in battle? I've got some portal tricks to pull off. Kat says, sure thing. Are you two ready? Yeah, we are, says Penny. Let's please hurry up and take that ugly thing down, says Combuskin. Kat says, Penny, use Electro Ball. Combustion, double kick. The Electro Ball towards Louie. Penny uses Electro Ball and Combustion kicks it towards Louie. Louie dodges the Electro Ball, but Ari opens the portals, sending the Electro Ball right back at him. Amethyst says, whoa, nice play, Ari. Ari says, thanks. Now I need you to send some of those bombs into the portals. Dio, have EVU swift into the portals as well. Dio says, oh, okay. Well, you heard her. Multiple portals appear in front of Amethyst and Dio for them to launch things in. Okay, that may have been a clever move, but you're still not going to get me this time. Wait, what are all these portals surrounding me? Dozens of bombs and small stars come out of the portal, hitting Louie. Cat says, I'm loving these new strats, Ari. Ari says, I'm surprised they're working so well. Ian says, hey, Ari, mind if I borrow that? Actually, I'm just going to take it before you even process what I'm talking about. Ian uses his wand to steal the explosion. Alan, what did you just go to do? Ian says, simple. Watch this. Ian fires the borrowed explosion at DOV. Alan says, holy cow, that was sick. DOV says, oh, come on. What kind of tactics are those? Alan says, I'm sure you can do much worse. DOV says, oh, yeah? How much worse? Rogue says, we can announce when we were attacking from behind. Rogue jumps up and slightly slashes DOV in the back, but she quickly retaliates by blasting him with her glassy blaster. Rogue says, honestly, I'm surprised that it worked even a little bit. DOV says, it's not going to work again. Maybe it would be best if I knocked you out like I did last time. Better out, knock you out permanently. DOV goes to hit Rogue across the head once again, but Jabber jumps in a Hyzuian Zoroark and takes it without feeling pain. He quickly uses Shadow Claw to get her to back off of Rogue. Jabber says, you okay, Rogue? That seems like a pretty tough hit. Rogue says, I'm doing great, thanks to you. Ian says, nice play you had there, Jabber. Alan says, yeah, you really showed her. DOV says, showed me? You think I'm done just like that? You must be joking. DOV fires a blast at the four of them, but Jabber quickly shifts into Tyranitar and uses Hyper Beam to overpower DOV's blast and hit her. Jabber says, well, if you ask me, we are definitely the all-pro jokesters. Rogue says, hey, you guys feel like we're about to get attacked from behind? Jabber shifts into Aegis Slash and jumps behind the all-pros to block shots from Buck Bumble's gun. GMH says, okay, I can't keep dodging his shots any longer. We need to do something. Jack M44 says, well, without the gun, he's practically useless. If we can just get it off of him. Orange Horn says, get the gun off of him? Professor Shy Guy, let me hop on your back so the two of us can get that gun away from him. Professor Shy Guy says, well, what are you waiting for? Hop on. Orange Horn hops on Shy Guy's back as he goes through the air. Buck says, took you looks long enough to get into the air. Wouldn't that be the most efficient way to take down a flying creature? Shy Guy says, better late than never. Now, I hope you're ready to be taken down. Oh, please, says Buck. How good. Got a bunch of gamers doing a fight. Orange Horn says, oh, you'd be surprised. And so will we. Shy Guy uses Brave Bird in an attempt to get the gun off of Buck Bumble, but he misses. Oh, damn it, says Shy Guy. Jack M44 says, don't worry, guys. Just keep on trying. G-Mage says, yeah, and once you get the gun, you better kick his British bee butt. Buck says, oh, no. Please don't kick my British bee butt. Enough with your childishness. This is a fight for the big boys. Shy Guy goes for another Brave Bird, but Buck Bumble shoots him in the wing, causing him an Orange Horn to fall to the ground. Orange Horn says, shoot. You okay, Shy Guy? Shy Guy says, yeah, I'm fine. I ain't getting back in the air, though. Buck says, well, ain't that a shame? Looks like it's my turn to take down an all-pro. Vietnam Farmer says, no! Buck Bumble fires his gun, but Vietnam Farmer hops in front of the bullet before it hits Orange Horn or Shy Guy. Orange Horn says, oh, God, VF. Bud, are you okay? Come on, try to get up. Vietnam Farmer says, yeah, I'm fine, somehow. Oh, hey, the bullet from my metal arm. Hit my metal arm. Guess that's the perks of losing a limb. Buck says, oh, that's a bunch of bull crap. Screw it. How about I just put a bullet through his skull instead? Vietnam Farmer says, put a bullet through my skull, you say? Vietnam Farmer grabs Buck Bumble's hand. Vietnam Farmer says, well, if you're going to do it, then at least let me shake your hand first. Buck Bumble says, what? Why would I do that? Vietnam Farmer shakes Buck Bumble's hand and snatches the gun out of his hand and points it back at him. Okay, says Buck. I don't know how you just did that, but Buck Bumble begins to run away. Orange Horn says, VF, you just gonna let him get away? No. What makes you say that? Says Vietnam Farmer. VF fires the gun and gets a direct hit on Buck Bumble while facing away from him. Bro has great aim, says Vietnam Farmer. Elsewhere. Oh, there's Mudkip typing. Or at least on the dock. George, is there a stronger fire move you use on this? Red says, I've tried everything. Nothing burns or makes whatever's blocking us budge. Bunny says, if only they didn't take my hammer, then we'd probably be able to break through this easily. Mablem says, wait, guys, they didn't take my hammer away. Maybe we can break through with it.
Buddy, what makes you think that squeaky hammer is gonna work?
Red says, there's gotta be some way to get out of here. Cool says, you guys in need of some help? Everyone says, cool. Cool says, hey, sorry it took me so long to get to you guys. Things are a little crazy right now. George says, oh yeah, what are all those explosions about? Is everyone okay? Cool says, well, the Upside Down is currently under attack from GWallPro and his team. Oh, good lord, says Maybelline. You know, on second thought, maybe you should keep us in here. Cool says, no, I can't have them. I can't have them keep you in here any longer. I should be able to get all this stuff out of the way if I move it with my ice. An orange pixel flies by, nearly dodging Cool's finger. The pixel flies back, but Cool moves out of the way. Cool says, what the heck was that? Bunny says, Cool, is everything okay? Cool says, yeah, there's someone at the end of the hallway. An orange cubit?
The one with ice powers. Cubop isn't gonna disappoint Lord GWallPro this time.
Cool says, hey, listen, I don't know what you want from me, but I suggest we don't fight and we settle this like men. Cubop fires dozens of pixels at Cool, who freezes them before he is hit. All right, dude, what the flip, says Cool.
Oh, don't worry. Cubop has a lot more planned for you.
Cubop continues to fire his pixels in Cool. He wraps himself around Cool and lifts him up into the air. Cool freezes Cubop's pixels, causing the both of them to fall to the floor. Maybelline says, yeesh, you okay, Cool? Cool says, oh yeah, I've been so much worse.
Well, Cubop's gonna make it so that you're at your worst.
Cool smacks Cubop with an icicle.
Ah, Bowie! Hey!
Cubop fires more pixels at QB and Cool creates an ice shield to block the attacks. He sprouts an icicle shard from the ground, hitting Cubop in the face.
Ow, okay, you are really freaking annoying.
Thank you, says Cool. I appreciate your honesty. Hey, why does it look like you're about to charge at? Cubop wraps himself around Cool's legs and begins to carry him away. Oh, crap, says Cool. Hey, guys, don't worry about me, all right? I'll be back. Don't know when, but I will be. Source? Trust me, bro. Oh, God.
Okay, if I know anything about comedy, then I know that man is not coming back.
Meanwhile, Hunter says, okay, that's all the explosives set up. What the heck happened up here? GameHopper and Hunter walk into the entrance and find it covered in flames and rubble. Jeez Louise, is GameHopper. How the hell did this happen? Oh, that guy? Yeah, that'll do it. Hunter says, that's GWallPro, right? GameHopper says, yep, come on in. Let's make sure everyone's okay. At the electronics store, Katie says, hey, Hammerstein, any idea of what we should do? Hammerstein says, we should try to get the outside just to stay safe, but stay out of sight as well. Max says, what would happen if we're seen? Hammerstein says, let's hope we don't find out. Yellow says, good question. How are we going to get past all the fire? Arthur says, I don't think you will. They all turn to see Arthur. The kids back up in fear. Xavier says, who are you supposed to be? Casey says, yeah, why are you here? Hey, are you all okay? Casey, it's him, says Blue. Arthur says, wait a minute. I don't even notice these little guys. Are you the same kids from before? Wow, now you guys look like you came straight out of the cartoon. Even better than the Rainbow Crew toys we released back in '84. Max says, wait, you're Arthur, co-creator of Rainbow Crew? That old pro cult admin? Arthur says, yep, that's me, in the flesh. Riley says, you killed our kids. Thomas says, do you have any idea what you took from us? Arthur says, haha, I'm very well aware. Engulfed in rage, Thomas, Riley, Casey, Max, Xavier, and Katie charge at Arthur in an attempt to attack him, but he swiftly dodges each attack with ease. With one swing of his arm, he knocks all 6 of them away, barely avoiding the fire behind him. Are you guys okay? Come on, you gotta calm down for a sec, says Red. Aw, the poor little babies done with their temper tantrums, says Arthur. You know, if you're so upset about your kids being dead, then why don't you just join them? Arthur prepares to hit them into the fire, but GameHopper and Hunter teleport in front of them. Hey there, champs, this is Game Hunter. Hammerstein says, ha! I was wondering when you two show up, says Hammerstein. Hunter says, didn't expect this place to go to hell while we were gone. You really seem to be causing quite a lot of problems, buddy. Arthur says, life needs a good problem to make it interesting, even if it isn't resolved. Hammerstein says, what exactly is your guys' plan? No idea, says Hunter. GameHopper says, hey, aren't the 6 stupid stooges taking on GWallPro by themselves? I think so, says Hammerstein. GameHopper says, well, Hunter, I think it's time for a battle swap. I want to settle a score with HWall. Hunter and GameHopper fly up to GWallPro and the 6 stupid stooges. GWallPro says, oh.
Wow, gotta say I'm impressed by your willpower, although you do seem to be sweating an awful lot.
Puffy says, we're on fire and we've been fighting you nonstop for 10 minutes. You expect us to not be sweating? Game Hopper says, it looks like you six could use some help. Last says, Game Hopper, Hunter, what are you two doing? Hunter says, taking over. How would you guys like to get rid of, now you guys go get rid of Arthur. They all float away.
Hey, Smile Boy, weren't you the one destroying the city with all those beams of yours?
Game Hopper says, yep, that's me. Want to find out what else they can do?
Oh, gladly.
Hunter says, well, that's not all you're going to get. Murder hornets! Dozens of hornets fly up to GWallPro.
Boy, this will be fun.
Arthur gets every backed up against the fire. Arthur says, it feels really good to be in my situation right now. Maxwell may have been on top in the past with his energy, but look who's on top now. Fire, she says, well, if you're on top, then whoever the base is must be really strong if they've been able to hold you up. They push Arthur to the ground and jump in front of everyone to protect them. Green says, it's about time you guys showed up to help beat this loser. Mudkip says, this guy ain't just a loser, bud. He's a hater trying to disrespect our Sigma grind set. Okay? Mudkip transforms into Magalore and sends a blast of dark energy towards Arthur. Arthur opens up his robe and absorbs the blast. Sineva says, what? Oh, come on. How did you do just that? How did you just do that? Arthur says, the paradoxical enigma has simply provided me with great power. Good thing that stupid helper cube of yours accidentally led us here. Otherwise, I might not have gotten the chance to do this. Arthur unleashes shadow creatures from his robe that start attacking Mudkip, Puffy, Flashstand, Fireshoot, and Sparky. Sparky says, shoot! Hammerstein! Get everyone out of here! Hammerstein says, on it! Come on, everyone! Arthur grabs Hammerstein's collar, walks to the edge, and holds Hammerstein above it. Purple says, oh no! Hammerstein! Katie says, you better let him down right now. Arthur says, right here? Well, if you say so. No, don't you dare, says Hammerstein. GWallPro, Hunter, and Game Hopper.
I love the work you two did.
Ring, 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 it's a me, says Paradoxical Enigma.
Oh, what's up now, PE?
It's almost time to go, says Paradoxical Enigma. I'm gonna send one last missile before I get you guys out of here.
Well, go ahead.
One last missile is fired towards the Upside Down. Arthur says, come on, I want to see you all try and save your friend here. Hammer says, no, you guys just stay there. I'll be fine. What is that? Arthur and Hammerstein notice the shadow missile hurtling towards them. Arthur says, well, what is there to do now? The missile hits the ground below Arthur and Hammerstein, causes them to fall to the ground. Many feet below as they fall, Arthur and all of GWallPro's team is teleported away. Hammerstein, says everyone. The shadow creatures disappear, allowing Sineva, Sparky, Fireshoot, Flashstand, Puffy, and Mudkip to notice Hammerstein falling. Without thinking, they zip to the broken edge and jump off in an attempt to catch Hammerstein. In the end, Hammerstein hits the ground with the 6 of them following. They slightly break their fall with a roll on the ground. Game Hopper says, Hunter, where did GWallPro go? I don't know. He just disappeared, says Hunter. Game Hopper, look over there. They notice everyone lying on the floor, immediately fly over. Game Hopper says, oh shoot, are you all okay? Mudkip says, yeah, I think we're fine. Hunter says, what about Hammerstein? Hammerstein says, I think I might have broken something. Sparky says, broken something? Okay, that's fine. How can we get you some help? As long as you're okay. You think you can move at all? Hammerstein says, no, every part of my body hurts. Sineva says, that's okay. We can carry you upstairs. Once they put their hands on Hammerstein, he begins to scream in pain. The GWallPros all begin to gather around the group. Is he okay, says Cats? He's fine. We just need to get him some help, says Puffy. Yeah, you hear that, Hammerstein? We'll get you some help, and we'll get you out of here. You'll be fine. Hammerstein says, okay, I just want to sit here and rest for a bit. Okay, thanks for the help. Flashstand says, no problem, Hammerstein. We'll be right here, okay? Hammerstein smiles and closes his eyes for a bit. Hunter says, we'll get him some help. Just making sure he's fine. Flashstand says, just a few more minutes, Hammerstein, right? Hammerstein? Hammerstein didn't answer. Dad? Is he? Thomas says, we need to go back to the room. Now! They all walk away. Buffy says, maybe he fell asleep. Sparky says, yeah, you may be right. Hammerstein, wake up. Fire says, come on, Hammerstein, you gotta wake up. Please, bud, wake up, says Mudkip. This isn't funny, Hammerstein. You gotta wake up right now. Wake up, says Sineva. Hammer says, guys, I don't think he's... Flashstand says, no, he said he's fine. He just needs to wake up. They continue to yell at Hammerstein to wake up, getting more and more annoyed. They begin to yell, scream, and hit Hammerstein in order to wake him up with no prevail. Everyone watches in shock as Game Hopper and Hunter pull them away, still screaming at him to wake up. Star says, what do we do with him? Jack says, we can take him to the courtyard, get some fresh air for all of us. Upstairs in the electronics store, everyone looks through the giant hole leading to the courtyard as everyone walks in with Hammerstein's body. Orange says, he's really gone, isn't he? Max says, yeah, I hope the others are okay. Game Hopper teleports everyone to the room with tears pouring out of their eyes. They all hug each other. Riley says, we're so sorry for what happened down there. You guys should give yourself some time to rest. Zeneva says, how can we not catch him? With how fast we can go with our powers, that should have been done no problem. Xavier says, you guys had a lot of pressure on you. You were thinking as fast as you could, and that's fine. You did your best, okay? They walk over to the hole in the wall. Look at them down there, says Sparky. They don't even seem upset. They all just moved on like it was nothing. Well, they weren't as attached to him as you guys were, says Green. They should at least still care, says Sparky. Be concerned for us at least because they can clearly see that we are hurt. Buffy says, do the All-Pros really not care for each other anymore? Max says, don't worry about the other All-Pros. What they think doesn't matter. Fire says, yeah, we're better than them. We've already faked the smile they've seen before, and now they'll all see that we're so much more. We should just go ahead with the plan of blowing up this place. Blue says, you guys are still blowing this place up? Yellow says, come on, you got to think of a better way to do this. Katie says, guys, please, just don't intervene. Casey says, she's right. We should just let them do their thing. Red says, no, this isn't right, and you guys know it. Purple says, you guys may be scared, but you could at least try to stop this. Thomas says, Jack, no, you stop this. All of you kids stop this. Just let him do this. Just let him do this. They walk into the next room besides them, leaving the kids behind. Orange says, is it too late to change your mind? Mudkip says, that's not for you to decide. We won't heed to your design. Purple says, well, why not? Flashstand says, you guys just want to understand. Purple says, want to understand? You know, unless these All-Pros are the same ones that when all those dangerous missions you guys sent them on, you guys did nothing but sit here and work on machines that never worked. What is there not to understand? They have given their all, done all you like. Zeneva says, okay, but playtime's never over, says Red. So we go deeper down, says Orange, to the nursery of demons, says Yellow. Wash the giant enemy spider out, says Green. It's cheating aloud, says Blue. Each of the kids is lifted up, catching the attention of everyone in the other room. You know, says Eva, we see where you guys are coming from, but with every hill we're meant to climb, every swing and every rise, it's clear caught up in a web of lies. Not this time. Without thinking, they throw the kids out the hole in the wall into the courtyard. Thomas says, kids, no! The 6 of them jump out, following the kids catching them midair. They all begin to fall to their demise. G-Man says, so what? Oh my god, guys, look! Jack and 44 says, quick, someone catch them! Professor Shy Guy, Ian, and J-Bear fly up to catch all of them and bring them back down slowly. Ian says, holy crap, what was that all about? Shy Guy says, are you guys okay? Yeah, we're fine. You kids okay, says Riley? None of them answer and instead continue to breathe heavily. Instead, they look back up at the hole to see Mudkip, Sineva, Flashstand, Fire Yoshi, Sparky, and Puffy looking back at them. Hunter says, why did you guys do that? We don't know, says Fire Yoshi. They begin to cry and breathe harder and harder. They turn around and storm off, trying not to think about what they did. Game Hopper says, where are you guys going now? Sparky says, we're blown. Oh, hang on. This is about to end. All right, I'll restart it. They begin to breathe harder and harder. They turn around and storm off, trying not to think about what they did. Game Hopper says, where are you guys going now? We're blowing this place up now, says Sparky. We aren't thinking about anything that happened in this place anymore. They make it downstairs to the hallway filled with explosives. Puffy says, Sineva, please hurry and set these things off. Sineva says, what do you think I'm doing, Puffy? Rogue says, hey, what are you guys doing? You're just going to leave after what you just did? Star says, you've been trying to help these kids for months now and you're suddenly you're trying to kill them? What's wrong with you guys? Mudkip says, everything is wrong with us. Not just us, all of you. All-Pros are supposed to be positive, supposed to be there for each other. None of you have been there for us or anyone other than the people you hang out with every day. Orange Corn says, well, it's not like any of you have done anything but send us on life-threatening missions. Fire says, it's not like any of you have been helping 6 kids get their bodies back. Amethyst says, helping them by hurting us in the process? Sparky says, oh yeah, we've hurt you, and you guys didn't say anything about the ones that hurt you the most. Sid says, oh no, they're about to say it, aren't they? Ari says, they said they wouldn't if we kept quiet. Lila says, wait, hold on, what are you guys talking about? Puffy says, what we're talking about is fairly simple. Some of you, 5 of you specifically, have been hiding something from you guys. Cat says, hiding what? We don't understand. Mudkip says, what we're saying is that 5 insane little all-pros may have let a certain giant enemy spider in the upside down on purpose. Everyone slowly looks back at Cool, Sid, Ari, Jabber, and Vietnam Farmer. He says, you guys let that spider in? He says, you realize the carnage that thing caused, right? Vietnam Farmer says, listen, we didn't mean for all that to happen when we let it in. Professor Shy Guy says, didn't mean it? But yeah, that thing nearly killed 4 of us. Practically put us on life support. And you say, but we didn't mean it. You realize how stupid that sounds? Vietnam Farmer says, okay, shut up, dude. You're not the one that lost a whole damn arm to that thing. Jabber says, yeah, back off. We only let that thing in to deal with those guys. Fool says, not to mention that the fact that they wouldn't tell anyone if we kept it a secret that they tried to kill Gabe. Alan says, they tried to kill Gabe and you didn't tell us? Fool says, we were trying to protect ourselves and they still tried to kill Gabe. They all continue to argue with each other. Rogue says, wait, guys, do any of you hear beeping? They all turn to look back at Sunnyva, Fireyoshi, Sparky, Flastan, Puffy, and Mudkip. Sunnyva says, no matter the lives of the people before us, all we seek is the path to glory. Sunnyva presses a button as Game Hopper teleports them all away. Jack says, what did they just do? What was that noise? They all watch as a trail of explosions come down the hallway and engulfs it in them in flames and smoke. Hunter says, well, that's dealt with now. Game Hopper says, what do we do? Mudkip says, how about we go settle a score with someone? They all begin to walk away from the burning upside down. And that is the end of chapter 15. Woo! Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Dangerous. Whew. Oh boy. Okay. Not bad. 15 chapters in. That one was pretty good. Pretty good chapter. Dangerous. Dangerous. I'm sure all those all-pros that got engulfed in those flames should be okay. We'll find out how they escaped probably sometime soon. Or maybe they didn't. Who knows? If you guys are enjoying what you're seeing so far, feel free to give the stream a like. It would really, really mean a lot to me. And definitely make it more available to to do more stuff like this, to read more lores on stream and all that sort of stuff. The more you guys support it, support each other's art, and support each other's support the streams of me going through all of your guys' art, definitely helps. But yeah, so far pretty good. All right, we're gonna try. Obviously, I know it's getting late, but I did also start the stream a little bit late today, so we're gonna try and go through a couple more chapters. See if I can get maybe another. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how far we go. But if I could get maybe, I don't know, another 30 to maybe 40 pages in, we'll see what happens. I think we've already done almost 60 pages in total, which is actually kind of crazy, but we'll see how we do today. We'll see where we finish. So like I said, hopefully I can get through chapter 16, 17, and 18 and stop right before 19, but we'll just have to see what happens. So anyways, chapter 16 is called Ignite the Night. The song from this one will be this will be the first of 2 straight Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney songs. This first one is Recollection, Broken Heart Maya, or Broken Hearted Maya, from Ace Attorney. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Chapter 16. Let's get going. Everyone sits on the top of Game Hopper as he flies around at high speeds. Hunter says, oh, what exactly are we trying to go? Fire says, we have no idea. We're just trying to get as far away from the upside down as possible for now. Game Hopper says, so you're telling me you both have been having me fly around aimlessly for almost 2 hours and you still don't even know where you want to go? Sunnyva says, well, we know we want to find Gabe. Only problem is we have no idea where he is. Puffy says, nor do we really know anyone that would know where he is. Sparky says, oh shoot, yes we do. We sent QB back with Gabe so he doesn't get suspicious of us. He's probably still with them. Last Dan says, oh right, Sparky's right, but how will we contact QB? Game Hopper says, oh, I can call him real quick. A while back, me and Hunter gave Cubie a walkie-talkie for when we wanted to talk to each other. Mudkip says, you did? Well, that sure is convenient, huh? Well, if something like that happened in some kind of story, it would be really stupid to make, and the author would look like they didn't plan ahead for the moment. Mudkip with the fourth wall breaking is crazy. Game Hopper pulls a walkie-talkie out of his mouth and calls Cubie.
Oh, look! The walkie-talkie Cubie has had it this entire time. He's only just now acknowledging. You know, this is Cubie.
Game Hopper says, hey, Cubie, so, a lot just went down, and we're kind of on the run trying to find Gabe. Can you tell us where he is?
Oh, he's in the other room, but Cubie thinks he's about to do some kind of announcement of sorts. Everyone is gathering up. Can Cubie talk to you guys later?
Okay, sure about this, Game Hopper. Cubie floats into the living room with the All-Pros. Dove says, oh, there you are, Cubie.
What's going on here?
Very Scary says, Gabe wants to announce his plan or something. Everyone goes silent as Gabe gets up on Jesse's table. Gabe says, Jesse, does it look like I have authority? Jesse says, yeah, don't know why it would look like you wouldn't. Gabe says, okay, cool. All right, All-Pros, as you know, we lost GWallPro a few hours ago, but that's not going to stop us. He was determined to end this apocalypse right there and then. If he cannot end, now I am as well. I want to have a battle with GWallPro, the Paradoxical Enigma, and his whole team as soon as possible. I want to end this. Even though I know everyone here is strong, I don't think we can do it on our own, and we'll need help. Gold Guy says, who exactly can we get help from? Well, I'm going to go back to Simon's safe haven to get help from my family and friends there. I could probably do that by myself.
Wait, Gabe? Cubie would like to come with you.
I don't know, Cubie. Our enemies have your location. You'd be putting everyone in danger.
You and Cubie can deal with it. No, we did it last time.
Ray says, Gabe, I think you should let Cubie go. Me, BS, and Dove will come with the both of you to make sure you're all right. Fine. You four can come with me. As for everyone else, I'm going to need you to do something a little risky. You're going to have to go to the Upside Down and convince those All-Pros to help. He says, whoa, hold on, Gabe. You saw how those guys acted. They literally tried to kill you. Only 6 of them tried to kill me. Everyone else seemed against it. You should only recruit them and leave those guys to their own demons. I haven't gotten any calls from Cool recently, so try to stay safe when you're there. Will do, Gabe says Jesse. All right, everyone, do any preparations you need to then get going. Cubie goes back to the walkie-talkie.
Hey, Game Hopper? I know a place you guys can get to Gabe.
Very Scary says, hey, Gabe, before I go, I wanted to give you this. Very Scary hands Gabe a vest. Oh, hey, this isn't one of those reflection vests. Didn't know you had one of those on you. Very Scary says, yeah, just put it under your jacket and no one will suspect a thing. Okay, cool. All right, Ray, Dove, Cubie, it's time we leave. Everyone else should be ready to leave for the Upside Down soon.
See you guys soon.
They all leave Jesse's house. Game Member says, all right, this is the place. I don't think anyone saw us come in, so we should be fine. Okay, nice. Huh, this place looks almost untouched, says Sineva. Have a go in V, thanks for stopping by. Hunter says, yeah, according to the Cubie, this place was made into a safe haven. It's really only been attacked a few times, but just look outside the campus and you'll see all the destruction you're used to. They all look beyond the campus and walls, see fire and destroyed villages. Ooh, watch while this old world collapses, says Hunter. Scream echo onto our synapses, says Game Hopper. Sineva and Sparky Fire, she says, it's the end of the world as we know it. Everyone wasted, overflowing, it's painful to slow-mo it. Mudkip says, surprised you all remember that. They all notice Gabe, Cubie, Dove, Ray, and Very Scary entering the safe haven. Sparky says, all right, gang, let's get ready. They run off elsewhere. Ray says, so this is the safe haven you told us about, huh? Yeah, this place is already cool. Still impressed by what Simon has done with the place. Speaking of which, we should probably go meet him. Come on, guys, he's probably in the same spot. Dove says, hey, Cubie, you looking for something?
Oh, no. Cubie is just looking around the place. He must be around here somewhere.
Later on, the 5 of them make their way to the building in the center of campus. Okay, Simon should be around here somewhere. Simon says, oh, hey, Gabe, what's up? Not much, just looking for... Wait, Simon, what are you doing? Simon says, absolutely nothing. Things are normally pretty uneventful here. Oh, those are some All-Pros with you. Yep, this is Ray, Dove, Very Scary, and, well, you already know Cubie. Simon says, I thought it wasn't safe for him to be around us? Yeah, it still isn't, but if anything goes wrong, we can deal with it. Probably. So, where's everyone else? I need to talk to all of you about something. Should be through here. They walk into the room where Getty, Mizu, Isaiah, Seth, and Kin sit and look at a TV filled with static. Hey, guys, is everything all right, says Simon? Oh, hey, Simon, we were just... Wait, Gabe? Everyone gathers around Gabe and welcomes him back. Wow, Gabe, says Isaiah, wasn't expecting to see you back so soon. What are you doing here?
Well, I just had something to tell you guys, but what are you all doing? So since we're trying to figure out what happened to the TV, all of a sudden just went to static. Ken says, we could get it figured out later. Is that what you needed to tell us? Right. Here, let me get on the table to make an announcement. Dove says, dude, what's it with you and climbing on tables all of a sudden? Gabe climbs on the table as you normally do when making an announcement. Okay, so a lot has happened in the past few days, and unfortunately, us All Pros lost someone very close to us to GWallPro. But that moment inspired us to end this as soon as possible. I know I wanted to protect you guys, but I also want you there by my side in the final battle, so I'm asking you guys to come along with you All Pros to beat GWallPro. Mizu says, so you want our help to beat this incredibly dangerous and powerful being and save the world? Simon says, Gabe, are you crazy? Buddy, you didn't even have to ask. We would have just showed up to help anyway. That's great. Thank you all so much. Now we're going to have to leave the safe haven so we can join back with the old All Pros and start forming a plan. But after that, we should be ready for the final battle. Simon says, sounds cool. Okay, guys, we should gather anything we might want to take with us and get going. Strange voices coming from the TV with static.
Oh, Gabe. How you doing there, pal?
Kitty says, Gabe, who is that? I recognize that voice. Mudkip? I know that's you. The static fades, revealing Mudkip. Dang, is my voice that recognizable? I knew I had the voice of an angel, but damn, I didn't know it was that good, says Mudkip. What? Mudkip? No. Hey Gabe, it's us. Remember us, the Sparky? Yeah, you tried to kill me a few hours ago? What do you guys want? And where are you? Mudkip says, where are we? Well, why don't you take a look for yourself? Mudkip points the camera towards the building. Isaiah says, that's where we are right now. Though says, how did they even find us? Sparky says, you're probably wondering how we found you, but we have no reason to actually tell you that. Very Scary says, wow, they didn't give away their secrets. Smart. Mudkip says, you're probably calling us smart, but we're really not, thanks to the compliment anyways. You still haven't answered my first question. What do you guys want? Mudkip says, oh, we still want you dead, Gabe. You realize how freaking desperate we are, right? Sparky says, and since we know exactly where you are, you can expect us to attack soon. Just hope you see us coming first. Simon says, what do they mean by that? All the lights shut off in the building. Simon says, ooh, okay, I get it. Great, looks like we're gonna have to deal with these guys before we leave. Ray says, hey Gabe, maybe me, VS, and Dove and QB should stay outside and make sure these guys don't get in. Sure, yeah, you guys go do that. We'll hold down the fort here. They leave the building as everyone else prepares for the attack. At the Upside Down, Ritz says, cool, wake up, dude, cool. Cool wakes up to see Ritz standing over him. He turns to see George, Rob, Mabelem, and Funny waking everyone else up after being knocked out by the explosion. Cool says, holy cow, that explosion was rough. At least everyone was okay. Wait, Ritz, how did you and the others get out? Were you trapped behind all that junk last time I saw you? Ritz says, yeah, you know the Rainbow guys, their parents, friends, siblings. They freed us, but it was weird. They didn't say a word while doing it, or even after we thanked them. Then they just walked away looking so upset. I wonder what that was about. Cool says, I think I may know. Funny says, hey everyone, a bunch of people just showed up outside. Mabelem says, really? Who is it? They all look outside to see the group of other All Pros arriving at the Upside Down. They finish waking everyone up before everyone All Pros head outside. Jesse says, so this is the Upside Down. It looks a lot more destroyed than I thought it would. V says, it didn't look like this the last time I was here. Something crazy must have gone down. Old guy says, well, it looks like people we were looking for just showed up. The All Pros walk out and face each other. Turquoise says, Stars, Lila, Gail, Sid. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you guys again. Sid says, good to see you too, Turquoise. You really brought everyone with you, huh? MTT says, they sure did bring everyone with them. Ari says, MTT. The two of them hug each other. Minin says, what's no jumps and joy? Ain't even a simple hello for me? Ari says, ha, hello to you too, Minin. Jamie says, oh, it's quite nice seeing everyone reunite with each other. Jabber says, yeah, sure it is, ain't it? Jamie says, when did you get behind? Jabber says, don't worry about it, Jamie. Don't worry about it at all. Luna says, well, if it ain't our little skill-stealing gamer. Vietnam Farmer says, yep, it sure is. Sup, Luna? Luna says, whoa, what happened to your arm? Vietnam Farmer says, oh, a giant enemy spider bit it off. A what? Says Luna. Katrina says, hey, Cool, it's been a good 8 months since I got to talk to you. How have things been? Cool says, hey, Katrina, I wish I could tell you. Lazy says, looks like my gang of All Pro friends isn't here. I know there are enemies now, but I still kind of wanted to at least see them. Escape says, don't worry about it. Lazy, I'm sure we're going to find a way to run into those guys again. T-Main says, so Jesse, are we ready to tell everyone about coming along? Jesse says, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Hey, everyone, I know you're all excited to see each other again, and it's clear you've been through a lot these past few months, but we wanted to offer you guys something. Lila says, offer us something? What kind of offer? Jesse says, well, Gabe is planning on taking on GWallPro soon, and he wants to gather the best possible team for all of us to take him on, and we wanted to get you guys on that team. Bert says, you want us to help you end an apocalypse? Well, of course. Professor Shy Guy says, whoa, hold on. Are you speaking for all of us? Because I don't think all of us are going to want to do this. Bert says, what do you mean? Why wouldn't everyone want to do this? Professor Shy Guy says, do you see the crap we've been through the past few days? Hell, past 24 hours. We've been going through so much, and now we're just expected to take on the most powerful being in the world? There's no way I'm doing that. GMH says, I think I'm with Shy Guy here. I want to break from all this chaos. Besides, didn't we all agree that we'd stop helping Gabe after what happened 8 months ago?
The only reason you all agreed to that is because those 6 idiots were filling your minds with nonsense all the way back then.
Mabelum says, well, at least the 6 idiots didn't get us killed like Gabe did. George says, yes, but they locked us away for hours and blew those guys up. Orange Corn says, not to mention they nearly got us killed by sending us on the spider mission. At least Gabe felt bad. The All-Pros continue to argue about helping. Jesse says, what on earth is happening? He says, this apocalypse has messed up these guys. Maybe we should just try and take the ones that want to help. Jesse says, well, we aren't going to be able to do that if this stupidity continues. We got to find a way to get everyone to stop and convince them to do the right thing. The Dove vs. Ray and Cubit sitting outside. Dove says, you two seeing anyone around? Ray says, nope, not a soul in sight after, other than the 4 of us. Ray says, man, if only I still had my sword, we could all probably take them on by ourselves. Ray says, why did you have a sword anyway? Don't you seem like it doesn't seem like a very you weapon? Ray says, long story no one wants to get into.
Hey, do you guys think we could do something to pass time? Cubit's bored of waiting.
I mean, we could do something while we look, but what? Very Scary says, hey, it's just the 4 of us. I still have Arthur's phone on me. Maybe now would be a good time to look through it. Very Scary pulls out Arthur's phone and enters the password. Very Scary says, okay, I want to look through his messages to see if anything is there. Ray looks like he has tons of contacts. Cult members, family. Hey, you and the other admins are here as well. Dove says, so is Maxwell. That's the other creator of the Rainbow Crew, right? Very Scary says, yeah, it is. It says Maxwell's last text to Arthur was April 20, 2023. That doesn't make sense. Maxwell died on the day before the 27th. How could Arthur get a text from him after death?
Well, check what the text is. Must be something interesting.
Very Scary says, it's a video. Wonder what this is. They start watching the video. It shows Maxwell sitting in a room filled with Rainbow Crew merchandise and memorabilia. Maxwell says, hello, whoever is watching this video. It is me, the one and only Maxwell. Okay, enough jokes right now. This is serious. So the people I'm sending this video to, my wife, Grace, my children, my grandchildren, my therapist, my old partner, Arthur. I just want to apologize. I haven't been myself, and for quite some time, I've grown so much more hostile. I never meant to physically hurt anyone, especially you, Grace. Anytime I did that, I wasn't in control of myself. I've been trying to find out what's wrong with me for so long. I've been linking this to my All-Pro energy. Ever since I gained it and it gave me the ability to hover, I just felt horrible, like my body is burning itself from the inside. Whenever I sleep, I hear voices in my head screaming at me, corruption, 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 true corruption. I myself must be corrupted by All-Pro energy. I've hurt you all, I've scarred you all, or I've scared you all. I've done the same to myself. This is no way anyone should live. Why should I have to live a life in corruption? Maxwell ignites in All-Pro colored flames. Maxwell says, no, the All-Pro energy has ignited again. I'm tired of this. I'm going insane. I'm going mind. I'm going mad. I'm corrupted. Maxwell falls to the floor and the flames surrounding him go out as he passed out. Cubit says,
Is he going to get up?
Very Scary says, I don't know. There's still 6 minutes left in the video, so let me skip to the end. Very Scary skips to the video until they see Maxwell's wife enter this room. Grace says, honey, are you in here? Hun? Maxwell? Maxwell, get up! Maxwell! MJ, get the phone. Call 911. Hurry! Maxwell, honey, please get up. She notices the phone and stops the recording. Dove says, he just died on camera. Wait, what does the text above the video say? Very Scary says, it says, hey Arthur, I don't know if you heard, but Maxwell unfortunately passed away yesterday. We still aren't sure what happened or why, but he recorded this video before he died and it seems like he wanted to send it to you. Now that I think about it, I did get a text from Arthur on this day. He was asking me to find out if Maxwell really died and to start tracking his energy. This is awful.
He ignited in All-Pro color flames, just like them.
Ray says, oh yeah, Gabe told us about that. So what does this mean? Dove says, well, if that guy was corrupted by All-Pro energy, then those guys must be corrupted as well. Maybe that's why they're acting like this. Maybe we need to tell Gabe. QB, come. QB?
QB doesn't think you guys should go back to Gabe.
Ray says, but QB, this is big. We can finally get things sorted out between them. The All Pros can get back together. You want that, don't you?
Game Hopper!
Ray says, why are you going for Game Hopper? Game Hopper appears behind the three of them with his mouth opened wide. They all turn around and scream before going completely silent. Hunter says, ha, nice one, QB. Let's hope Gabe didn't hear too much of that. Game Hopper says, oh, please, little old Gabe ain't hearing crap. Now we should get up to the roof. QB, you should probably keep Gabe thinking while you're still on his side.
Okay, QB's got it. Now you two hurry and head to the roof.
They both fly up to the roof while QB flies through the window leading to Gabe and the others.
Gabe, Ray Dub and VS were captured and taken to the roof.
Gabe says, the roof? Oh no, come on, QB, let's go save them. Simon says, wait, Gabe, do you need our help? Gabe says, you can just stay here for now. Help if things get dicey, okay? I'll be right back. Gabe runs to the roof with Gabe following behind them. Okay. I'm sure he met somebody else following me or me, whatever. Back at the Upside Down, Sid, Cool R, and VF and Jabber run away to get away from all the arguing. Vietnam Farmer says, if I stay in that mess for another second, my head is going to explode. Sid says, how did something like this even start between the All Pros? We were all such great friends before. What happened? Arya says, well, we just kept growing apart and now we're like this. Jabber says, hey, do you guys hear something from up over there? They walk further into the remains of the Upside Down and to find the Rainbow Crew singing with their friends and family. Cool says, oh, this is where you guys went. Are you guys still okay? Green says, yeah, we're fine. Just got bombarded by missiles and thrown out by a hole in the wall. Xavier says, and we jumped out of that hole in the wall. Couldn't be doing better. Vietnam Farmer says, so I take it you guys aren't doing well. Yeah, we're in the same boat. Max says, yeah, sorry. I don't think you guys can say you're in the same boat as us. Orange says, you guys didn't have to watch it as the only people willing to help you get a normal life. Back walked out and blew up the place. Ari says, hey, forget those guys. We can help you instead. And we won't give up on you. Red says, oh, is that so? What are you guys going to do first? Ari says, okay. I see your point. Sid says, oh, so you're just going to sit here? We can't really help, but we can cheer you up. Riley says, as long as those All Pros are like that, there is no cheering us up. Jabber says, no cheering you up. Because of them? Why is that? He says, because those guys barely care about each other anymore. They've grown so far apart and it's hard to even call them a team anymore. Yellow says, the All Pros are meant to help each other. You're meant to be there for each other. You guys have just been sticking to the same group of people for months. Blue says, yeah, if the Avengers didn't work as a team, they wouldn't have won anything. It's the same for you guys as well. Casey says, even if Gabe accidentally got you guys killed a year ago, at least he actually tried to help you guys and get you all together. Blue says, All Pros still care about each other. We're a great example of that. Yes, we've had some rough patches over the past few months, but we're still a team. They look at Cool in disappointment. Cool. Shut the hell up, says Purple. Whoa, 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 dude, you're like 9. You can't be saying that. Thomas, that's your son. Shouldn't you be scolding him, says Cool? Thomas says, no, he's right. You need to shut the hell up. Cool says, oh, wow, okay. I see how it is. Wait, why though? Thomas says, because the All Pros have not been there for each other in the slightest, except these same small groups. You know, the 6 idiots may have been insane and awful people, but at least they worked together to get these kids' bodies back, and they tried to get you guys to work together more. Purple says, and when you finally did work together, it took us to tell you to do it. Meanwhile, the ones that chose to split away from the All Pros are the ones that truly stayed All Pro, and they didn't even get anything in return for it. So how would you guys feel if you have been if you've been hurting inside for months and no one actually cared? Awful, right? Sid says, very awful. I will say it's kind of nice to see you guys have such a nice relationship with each other. You haven't even known each other for that long. Trevor says, you guys aren't even All Pros, and you do a better job at it than us. Riley says, well, all of us being separated from a kid we cared about will do the trick. Blue says, so will being the kid that they were separated from. Orange says, and you can't forget about what Arthur was telling that the other ghost admin when we were put into the suits. The children, they have each other. Vietnam Farmer says, and each other is all they need. Yeah, Very Scary told us about that too. Ari says, so would the All Pros, the children be the children in this situation? Green says, well, duh, did you guys not figure that out 8 months ago? Max says, well, you guys should get back to your chaos. We're still technically mad, so we'll just stay here for a while. Cool says, mind if we join you guys? Red says, Probably not, but it can't really stop you. They all sit trying to ignore the loud arguing from outside. Thomas says, so what do you losers think you'll be doing once this is over? Fool says, probably learning how to get better at teamwork. What about you guys? Purple says, once this is all over, then we'll sleep well now. They all smile. At the safe haven, Gabe and QB got onto the roof of the building. What? There's no one up here. Game Hopper says, hey, GWall! Really? We have to do the whole GWall situation again? You know, I don't even think I remember where that was that a fixie text thing? Like what how did that even originate? How was that stuck around this whole time? All right, whatever. Just gonna move on. Why do you still use that stupid name? Case in point. Oh. Game Mapper says, what? You don't like it? You know, I could call you much worse. Where are the All-Pros? What did you do with them? Hunter says the All-Pros are in a safe place, probably the safest place in all of Safe Haven. But we're not here for them. Well, who are you here for then? Me? Hunter says, no, we're here for Michelle Obama. Of course we're here for you. Wow, just random name drop, okay? Gabe says, so what, are you gonna attack me or not? The Game Hopper says, I mean, if you're asking for it. Game Hopper wraps himself around Hunter and the two of them grown to a gigantic size. Hunter says, all right, Mortar Hornets, time to live up to your name. Swarms of hornets begin to fly up to the roof to surround Gabe. He enters God mode to get the hornets off him and immediately charges toward Hunter, who dodges Gabe with ease. Gabe continues to charge, and Hunter, who swiftly moves out of the way in less than a second. Hunter uses Game Hopper's power to fire a beam at Gabe, sending him back towards the hornets, who quickly hold him down. Wow, these things are a lot stronger than I thought. Hunter says, haha, these hornets will take you down, no problem at all. Hunter fires a beam at his stinger, powering it up. He dashes towards Gabe, but Gabe quickly grabs the stinger and slams Hunter to the ground, cracking the roof below. In retaliation, Hunter fires a beam at Gabe, who punches it, causing both of them to get backfired by the blast. Gabe is left struggling on the floor. Hunter says, that didn't go as planned for you. Did it now, Gabe? Now's your chance, Hornets. Hunter flies a beam to power up the Hornets, and they all point their stingers at Gabe before charging down at him. Dozens of Hornets lunge their stingers into Gabe's skin, causing him to scream in pain. He stops screaming and begins to glow. Hunter says, yes, yes, yes. What's with the glowing, though? Murder Hornets, retreat. A few of the Murder Hornets begin to fly away. An explosion of light comes from Gabe's body, disintegrating most of the Hornets that were unable to get away in time. Hunter is left stunned and slightly shakes in fear. Gabe releases a rope of energy, and as Hunter shrinks back to his normal size, Gabe wraps the rope around him, trapping Hunter and leaving him in the ground. Hunter says, damn it! Where did that smiling friend of yours go? Gabe is hit and launched into the side of the air vent on the roof by Game Hopper. Game Hopper says, I'm still here, Gabe, and I think it's time I showed you what I was created for. Game Hopper wraps his mouth around Gabe and lifts him up into the air before throwing him back down towards the ground. Game Hopper sends his eyes flying towards Gabe at speeds as fast as a sniper. Gabe jumps out the way of the one eye before immediately getting hit by the second, putting him on his back. Man, you are insane. Game Hopper says, haha, I can get worse. Gabe throws many punches at Game Hopper and avoids each one. Gabe slams his fist down at Game Hopper's mouth, sending him straight down into the floor below. Game Hopper laughs before wrapping his mouth around Gabe's arm and slams him to the floor as well. Game Hopper goes around in circles, dragging Gabe across the stone ground before he jumps up and slams throws into the ground, nearly destroying the ground. Game Hopper takes quick notice of the floor's damage. Game Hopper says, God mode ain't helping you out right now, is it? So are you done yet, or you want me to finish you off? Done? Buddy, I'd like to see you try. Game Hopper grabs Gabe before he finishes his sentence and slams him and himself through the damaged roof and all the floors before they hit the bottom. Game Hopper is able to get up with no problem, but Gabe struggles a bit. Simon says, holy cow, what happened? Gabe, are you okay? Gabe says, yeah, I just need to. Game Hopper grabs Gabe once again and takes him back up to the roof, and he slams into the vent once again.
Jeez, Game Hopper.
Why are you not dead yet, says Game Hopper. Do you know how annoying it is to beat you up this much just for you to get up again? I'm just trying to make my creator happy. So why don't we just do this nice and easy for the both of us? Game Hopper turns purple and begins to charge a beam. Gabe steps completely as if he was just reminded of an awful time. Or Gabe stops completely as if he was just reminded of an awful time. Oh, shoot. Okay, I know this goes. Hey, QB, you still behind me?
Yeah, he is. Why?
What I'm about to do is going to look crazy, but I just need you to trust me. Gabe dashes back towards QB as if he's about to attack. QB, wait! This is Game Hopper. Game Hopper stops charging his beam and dashes toward QB to protect him. Before Game Hopper can do anything quickly, Gabe quickly turns around and wraps him in a rope of energy. Game Hopper, what? I can't even teleport or fly out of this crap. Screw you, Gabe. Gabe says, screw you too, Game Hopper. All right, QB, let's go find out what they did to Ray, Dove, and Very Scary. Gabe is shot in the arm by a pixel. He immediately turns to look at QB as he retracts the pixel back.
QB.
Oh, QB, why did you do that?
QB's just getting his payback, Gabe, so let go of his friends.
Payback? What do you mean payback?
QB's tired of being told what to do and being pushed around by you. He wants to help them. He wants to be with them, and you don't even want QB near them.
Well, of course I don't. They're awful. They're dangerous. Look at what they've done to you now. Besides, you're my helper cube, QB. You're supposed to help me.
So QB can't just have freedom in who he wants to help? He just has to follow the same restraining helper cube rules? QB's different from the normal helper cubes, Gabe. Now maybe it's time for QB to make a difference.
No, QB, I don't want to fight you.
Well, I do. And we fight till it's over.
QB fires all his pixels at Gabe, and he creates an energy shield to block most of his attacks. Gabe is knocked down onto his back, and QB uses his pixels to form a spike that he sends crashing down at Gabe. Gabe dodges the spike and throws it away from him. QB sends the spike back towards Gabe, but he uses the shield to block it. QB, you have to stop this. I'm not gonna hurt you.
Why not, Gabe? I'm asking for it, aren't I? Do something to me.
Gabe stands completely still as QB continues to fire pixels at him. Gabe dodges the pixels as they're fired at QB.
Gabe, do you remember 8 months ago when we were on the train? That was the first time you really saw how powerful I could be. That would be a shame if I were to do that again, right? Maybe don't have me revive 20 people at once next time.
QB begins to dig his pixels into Gabe's back. QB, please. Gabe releases another explosion of light from his body, causing all QB's pixels to get blown off of him. QB comes dashing towards to Gabe from behind, but he quickly turns around and punches QB, causing him to shatter to the ground. Oh, crap. QB, I'm so sorry. Please get up. QB reforms his pixels and Gabe wraps him up with tears in his eyes. QB, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have pushed you around as much as I did or told you what to do. If you want freedom, then I can give you that. QB stays silent and looks away from Gabe. So, where are my friends? Are they with yours? Hunter says, we're not telling you anything. Gabe says, well, they gotta turn up soon. Once they realize I've got 3 caught, they're gonna have to turn up for themselves. Man, I wish I had the old them back. Game Hopper says, everyone does, Gabe, but thanks to you, these guys have changed, and they aren't coming back. Thanks to me? Yeah, I remember all that so well. It felt like it happened so fast I couldn't think properly then. But why would they go to these extremes?
QB knows why. He just found out a few minutes ago. They're corrupted. QB isn't exactly sure what it is or what it means, but their GWallPro energy is driving them insane. And it's because of it they're doing this.
Corrupted? How could they be corrupted? Hunter says, hey, are you guys seeing that glowing star in the sky? Game Hopper says, oh yeah, it even has GWallPro colors. I wonder if it's anything that glowy thing that the others saw with GWallPro. Glowy thingy? What glowy thingy? Hunter says, Mudkip told us that he saw some GWallPro colored orb with arms and horns on GWallPro's shoulders, but it took off into space. Considering the fact that we haven't seen that thing till now, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the same orb. I think it also said GWallPro called it PE.
PE? That might be the Paradoxal Enigma up there.
Paradoxical Enigma? What is that? Says Game Hopper. A being made of spark. Hang on. All right. I should put loops on these, but it's fine. What's the Paradoxical Enigma? Gabe says, have a good night, Kari. Thanks for stopping by. A being made of sparkling that has a lot of power and seemingly able to control people. It feels like it's always hiding some kind of mask. Could it be? Gabe runs to the edge of the root. Hey, Signeva, Fireshi, Sparky, Mudkip, Plastic, and Puffy! I heard your stories now. I realized the deeper meaning locked beneath your cries. I have your friends here with me. I'll give them back to you. Just you come here right now. I know you'll hear me.
Gabe, what are you doing?
Behind the mask, there was someone following what you would do. Nothing stopped them from hurting you. Stole our voice and wants to kill us. They need to hear that as well. They need to be here. Game Hopper, Hunter, and QB look at each other in concern. before Game Hopper starts generating a strange ringing sound. What's the ringing for? Game Hopper says, I'm giving you what you want. Something zips past Gabe and leaves a burning cut on his leg. Oh, what the? Sparky says, knife cutting deep brings us to light. Gabe says, Gabe gets another cut in his other leg. A certain thrill that we really like, says Flashdan. Gabe gets a cut on his arm. Puffy says, you spilling blood? Yeah, we are the type. The 6 of them fall from the sky and immediately ignite. Ignited all pros. We are the terrors of the night. TVs across Safe Haven turn on, broadcasting the chaos. People begin to rush outside to watch what's happening, and Simon rushes onto the roof. Gabe, what is this? Who are they? What's going on? Simon, stay back. I can handle this. Simon says, lullabies of death will bleed. Fire says, further down into your dreams. Mudkip says, wake up, children. Watch our lead. Ignited all pros. Symmetry is what we need. Altogether, they slash Gabe directly in the middle of his chest. Gabe doesn't move a muscle and watches as the 6 of them notice a large burning slash in their own chests. They all back away and fall to the ground as Gabe reveals the reflection vest he was hiding under his jacket. Gabe says, I'll never forget your loyalties. Maybe I can try to forget that you guys are now nothing but beasts. Have a go, and Jack. Thanks for stopping by. Simon says, what did you just do? It doesn't matter. We need to get out of here. Flash says, hey, no, come back right now, Gabe. You aren't finishing us off with one reflected slash. Sparky says, do you know the awful crap we've been through these last 8 months, Gabe? Not only did you leave us to die in the explosion, but failed to get the kids' bodies back multiple times, kept getting hit with life-threatening situations, got attacked by GWallPro, and we nearly killed the only people left that still cared about us. Haven't we gone through enough? How do you guys think I feel? The world is ending, you know. You 6 are not the only ones going through hell. Do you know how it feels for me to keep constantly making mistakes that continuously hurt the people around me? I never intended for any of you to die. Not 8 months ago, or a few days either. I never wanted any of this to happen. I was just some random guy getting some work done when Sineva told me I'm an all-pro. Do you think I wasted that? Do you think I knew slashing the abdomen would start the end of the world? I'm not the villain you think I am. I can barely call myself an all-pro when I know I started the end of the world. So how do you think I feel? You guys aren't the only ones. Yo, Cats with the $5 Canadian. Thank you so much, Cats. Says, just passing by to say, Gabe, you're awesome. Hope you guys are enjoying the lore reading. Take care. All have a good night. Please like and subscribe. Thank you, Cats, so much for the $5 Canadian. Means a lot to me, buddy. Glad you've enjoyed the lore and have a fantastic rest of your night as well. WC, my friend. Flashstand says, well, at least you didn't lose Hammerstein, Gabe. I did not, but I did lose GWallPro. Millions of other people lost someone as well. Now, are you going to let me end this or not? Mudkip cuts Hunter, Game Hopper, and QB out of the rope before the 6 of them begin to attack Gabe. He uses God mode to swiftly dodge their attack while also firing back with his own blast. Puffy says, oh, hey, you 3. You're free now. Help us out. QB looks back at Hunter and Game Hopper with, who both give him a slight nod.
Hey, Simon, over here.
Simon says, oh, great. The tiny crazy cube is calling for me. Simon walks over to QB, who quietly tells him something. Simon says, hey, what are you guys doing over there?
All right, now everyone.
QB, Game Hopper, Hunter, and Simon. Behind the mask, there was someone following what you would do. Nothing stopped them from hurting you. It stole our voice and wants to kill us. Mudkip says, stop. What are you guys talking about? QB, Game Hunter, and Simon. Behind the mask, there was someone following what you would do. Nothing stopped them from hurting you. It stole our voice and wants to kill us. They continue to chant as everyone continues to fight. Trying their best to ignore the distractions, Sineeva creates a fireball of flame surrounding her and tries to blast at Gabe, who moves her arm upward, making it fly into space. Sineeva says, holy airball, I didn't mean to do that. Hunter says, is it just me? Or does it look like the fireball is heading right for the glowing star in space? Paradox Window says, I wonder what alcohol tastes like. Wait, is that a fireball coming towards me? You do not know. You don't want to know what alcohol tastes like. Not good. The fireball hits the Paradox Enigma, leaving a small hole in it. Paradox Enigma, ah, crap. That man, it's going to take some time to heal. Wait, do I not have? Crap, I don't. It's fine. I still have control over the ones that matter. Back on Earth, Gabe is still fighting with the all-pros before they all suddenly collapse to the ground. Guys? What just happened?
QB thinks we just confirmed our theory of that star being the paradoxical enigma.
Simon says, are they still breathing? Do we need to get them inside? Or the 6 of them slowly get up and look directly at Gabe before turning around and sitting on the edge of the building, breathing heavy. Whoa, guys, are you okay? Talk to me, please. Fauci says, Gabe, we're so sorry for everything. We didn't mean for any of this to happen. Puffy says, for so long, It felt like we didn't even have control over ourselves. It's like we were...
Corrupted. You were corrupted.
Cyneva says, yeah, we were. Gabe, we are just so sorry for everything we've done to you and everything you've been through, but please don't ever blame yourself for this again. You didn't know this would happen. You didn't know what would happen to us. None of this was your fault. And we're so sorry about GWallPro. It's fine, but I don't want you guys blaming yourself either. You weren't in control of yourself. It wasn't really you. Sparky says, but we've hurt so many people. You, the All-Pros, Game Hopper, Hunter, QB, the kids, and Hammerstein. We couldn't save Hammerstein. We were right there, and we couldn't catch him in time. Now he's gone. Gabe notices all of them trying to hold back their tears. It's okay. Let it out all you want. They all hug Gabe and begin to cry uncontrollably. Game Hopper, Hunter, and QB all join the hug as Simon watches from afar, trying not to cry himself. Mudkip says, we don't want to do this anymore, Gabe. We don't want to live in this awfulness. Gabe says, neither do I, which is why I need to fix this. Will you guys help me? Sneva says, yeah, we'll help you. If you really think you can stop all of them, then you must be able to. Simon says, I'll tell the others to start getting ready to go as well. Looks like it's time for us to end this off with the All-Pros. All right, speaking of the All-Pros, where are Ray, Dove, and VS? QB says,
Oh yeah, Game Hopper. Could you?
Game Hopper says, okay, man, this is gonna suck. Game Hopper violently throws up Ray, Dove, and Very Scary and is set into a coughing fit. Ray says, oh, wow, we're back. Looks like we missed a lot. Hunter says, yeah, we got those guys' corruption thing figured out. Had some fights, yada, yada, yada. We're on your side again. Ray says, oh, okay. Anyways, you guys should really take a trip inside Game Hopper's, whatever that was. It was just a void of bagels. It was crazy, yet weirdly relaxing. Very Scary says, I took a few pictures of it. It was actually insane. Highly recommend. Dove says, I think we enjoyed that far more than Game Hopper did. Game Hopper says, oh, I'm going to throw up again. Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see that, so you guys just want to get going? Mudkip says, yes, let's please do that. They all begin to prepare for leave. And that's the end of chapter 16. All right. Not bad at all, y'all. Not bad at all. I would never say that. Fair enough, Ray. Oh, man. All right, so at this point, we have exactly 100 pages left of the lore. On Friday, we did about 76. As of right now, if I stopped right here, we will have done about another 76, 77, honestly. But I think I'm going to keep going for... Let's go maybe one more chapter. I know I said I wanted to do both 17 and 18, but let's see. 16 was a pretty long chapter. So let's see how 17 is. And then, you know, if we want to do 18, then we'll do 18, but we'll see. We'll do 17, see what time it is once we finish 17, and we'll see if I feel like doing 18 today or if we're going to save that for tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, this one is called Chapter 17, We Have Hope. And this one will have the other Ace Attorney song. This one is called Reminiscence, Stars Etched by Flame from Ace Attorney. Yeah, Justice for All. Have a good one, Very Scary. Thanks for stopping by. Oof. All right. Potentially the final chapter of the night. We'll see what happens. Chapter 17, We Have Hope. Inside the building, Gabe attempts to tell everyone what's going on. Getty says, okay, I just want to make sure I got this right. Those All-Pros that were originally on your side, then they weren't, then they tried to kill you, but now they're friends with you again because they were corrupted by All-Pro energy. I mean, yeah, that basically explains it. Mizu says, in the B cube smiley face that sent you crashing through the floor are also on your side? Well, that's a Hornet. The cube was technically always on my side until like yesterday, and I honestly still have no idea what Game Hopper is, but yes, they are all on my side. Isaiah says, oh, by the way, Simon, are we going to fix that giant hole? Simon says, we might get around to it. Kin says, so what do we do now? Are we still helping you defeat GWallPro? Well, now we're going to head to the Upside Down and meet up with the other All-Pros. Seth says, the Upside Down? What is the Upside Down? Like Stranger Things? Simon says, the Upside Down is the name of the shopping mall we would stay in during the apocalypse. Someone spray painted the words Upside Down on it, so we named it after that. Mizu says, how are we going to get there? Mudkip says, with the help of Game Hopper, of course. He's that smiling dude, just so you know. Game Hopper says, all right, losers, just grab into my body. Isaiah says, I don't understand. How is grabbing onto you something supposed to get us to Game Over teleports everyone to the outside of the upside down? Oh my God, we just teleported, says Isaiah. Yeah, that'd be him. Hunter says, sure did, buddy. Might want to get used to it if you're traveling with us. Dove says, so this is the upside down everyone has been staying in. Looks really beat up. QB
says, it looked like didn't look this the last time QB was here. What the heck happened?
Sparky says, right, we may have blown a large chunk of the upside down up with all the all-pros right in the center of the explosion. Now that I think about it, says Fire Yoshi, maybe it would be best if we didn't go back in there. The others made it clear they didn't want us while we were there, and I doubt they would want us back. Very Scary says, I'm sure they understand that you guys were corrupted. Now let's go talk to them. They walk closer to the upside down to find the all-pros still arguing while everyone else watches. Very Scary says, I may have been wrong. Escape says, Gabe, oh, thank God you're back. These guys are getting a little unbearable. Two-Man says, with how well you and our group of all-pros interact with each other, seeing this just doesn't make sense to me. Jason says, I've been trying to get their attention ever since we got here. There's no breaking this, guys. You think you could do something? I'll see if I can do something. Gabe's walked closer to the arguing. Hey, all pros. Oh, that's how we're playing this. All right. Gabe climbs on top of the Bugatti limo. Hey, everyone! The all pros look directly at Gabe in shock. He climbs off the limo and begins to walk further into the upside down. Everyone begins to take a look at Mudkip, Puffy, Flash, and Fire Yoshi, and Sparky with anger before they all stop. Told you guys climbing on top of stuff makes a difference. Star says, Gabe, what are you doing here? Why did you bring them with you? Bring who? My family? Dove, Ray, and VS? These guys? Ian says, those guys. Gabe, why would we be talking about anyone else? Just making sure. You guys want to explain. Flatstand says, yeah, we probably should. So how about how we acted? We're so sorry for how a cinder block is thrown at the all pros. Flatstand says, what the heck? Okay, first of all, whoever the heck did that, why? And second, damn, you got one hell of an arm, so to throw a cinder block that far. Gale says, thank you, I practice. Puffy says, wow, why am I not surprised? Can someone else take over and explain this situation for us?
QB can try. So basically, these guys had their all-pro energy corrupted by the paradoxical enigma, which was causing them to not only go insane, but also be a lot meaner to you guys. They aren't really in control of themselves, and they haven't been for months.
GMH says, well, QB has been with you guys for months. How do we know he isn't just lying for you? Vietnam Parma says, because we're pretty sure it's happening to us as well. Cool, VF said JR and Ari come out of the upside down with everyone else holding them up. Thomas says, when we were just talking with these guys, they suddenly collapsed to the floor and started acting normal. Purple says, could that be the corruption thing you're talking about? Simon says, well, that is what happened to them. Game Opera says, and those guys have been acting strange for some time. Bunny says, so I guess it does somewhat seem like you're telling the truth. Lazy says, Gabe, are those guys gonna help us take down GWallPro? Yeah, they are. You guys are as well, right? Gold Guy says, not exactly. You see, Malum says, some of us believe that we've gone through enough and don't want to go to war with the ones that started to end the world. Alan says, but some of us also think that should matter. We should help anyway, so we can save the world with the all pros. Luna says, they have been arguing about this crap as long as we've been here. Some of you guys don't want to fight. You're all pros. Why wouldn't you guys help out? Shy Guy says, we have been getting hit with problems non-stop, especially with these guys doing stuff to us. Look at VF. He's missing a whole dang arm to a giant shadow spider. Vietnam says, giant enemy spider. Same thing, VF says Shy Guy. Sid says, these guys are still going at it. Green says, you see why we never hung out with any of the other all pros? Jabber says, yeah, but how do we get it through to them that they need to work together? Ari says, well, Gabe showing up hasn't even convinced them, so what will? Cool says, the truth will. Lulu says, what are you gonna do, Cool? Cool says, you'll see. Cool walks up directly behind Gabe. But guys, the world is at stake here. We're gonna need all the help we can. Cool, what are you doing? Cool says, knocking some sense into them. Hey, everyone listen up right now. Everyone turns their attention to Cool. Do you all realize how selfish you are? How selfish you have all been for months? I'm not just talking to the ones that don't want to help. I'm talking to all of you. Now, it's great that some of you want to help and save the world, but it's just because the apocalypse will be over and it benefits you. Because you guys sure didn't help the kids get their body back, or help those 6 help the kids get their body back. And none of you volunteered to help anyone on the missions they were assigned to. What? Are you guys just thinking, oh, well, I wasn't assigned on the mission, so it has nothing to do with me, and it is my problem? And that's not how it begins. Being an all-pro works. We work together, no matter what. That's how we win. We're not all together on that one last mission. Then anyone who goes to fight is just in a losing battle against GWallPro. And the rest of you are left to suffer knowing you could have stopped that. And listen, I'm not going to pretend like I wasn't guilty of this either. We all were. But I've been told us all pros are like children. Riley, Max, Katie, David, Casey, and Thomas. We children, we have each other, all the colors, and each other is all we need. Very Scary says, looks like I wasn't the only one that never forgot. Jesus says, now I see why you guys were calling that one cool. One of the coolest guys I know. So what do you say? You open or not? Amethyst says, I guess it would be best for us to stop sticking to ourselves and help each other out more. Lila says, and if it's the only way we can get out of this mess, then so be it. Great. Perfect, actually. That's basically everyone we know. Star says, there's just one thing I don't understand. Why was it specifically those 11 All-Pros that got corrupted? Oh yeah, she has a point, says right. What's something they have that no other All-Pros have that could have been corrupted them? They all think for a second.
Oh wow, we are dumb. How do we not notice this? What's the one thing that they have that no one else does?
Dove says, I don't know, depression? Wow, yikes.
What? No, they had All-Pro powers. Maxwell said it in the video. He only started going crazy shortly after gaining All-Pro powers. He must come from there somehow.
Very Scary says, we still don't exactly know how corruption is connected to All-Pro powers, though. That might be something we'd have to figure out later. Ray says, so, Gabe, now that everyone is joining us in this fight, do you really think you're going to be able to lead 79 people in battle against possibly the strongest being in the universe? Absolutely not. But I do think I know the perfect leader for us. Sineva, oh, I think I know who you're talking about. They both look back at Cool. Cool says, who? Hey, Cool. Hey, buddy. Yeah, those guys mean you, says Ritz. Cool says, sorry, what was that? You said they mean me? Wait, me? Well, you were the original leader of the All-Pros. What do you say? I say, Cool says, I say, somebody get me a whiteboard.
One whiteboard coming right up, Cool.
George says, yeah, he ain't getting that thing by himself. We'll be right back, guys. Katrina says, so Cool. Now that you're the leader of the All-Pros again, what should we do? Cool says, well, Gabe, you said you wanted to take on GWallPro as soon as possible. We're all here, so I was thinking tomorrow, maybe. If that's the case, then we should live tonight like it's the last day of our lives, because it very well could be. Maybe some nice dinner, drinks, some nice scenery. Orange Quid says, there's a cheesecake factory. The upside down, it's mostly untouched. Can we eat there? That's funny. Cool says, okay, yeah, sure. They got nice bread. A few minutes later in the upside down's cheesecake factory, everyone sits enjoying each other's company and having fun. Theo says, okay, Evie, try to catch the bread. Evie jumps up and successfully catches the bread. Evie! Theo says, oh, nice job, buddy. You did great. Kat says, wow, Theo, you've really become a great Pokemon trainer over the past few months. I'm impressed. Thanks, Kat, says Theo. I wonder if Jabber can get Evie to Gigantamax again. Kat says, I'm sure he can. Would definitely come in handy for the final battle. Penny says, weird to think that in a few hours we'll be determining if this apocalypse ends or not. Minna says, yeah. On that note, Penny, there's something I've been meaning to tell you. You see, I think that I see that you like, you have, I gotta use the bathroom. Bye. Penny says, okay, that was weird. MTT whispers, I have quite the story to tell you guys. Combustion says, Minnan has a crush on Penny, right? MTG says, oh, well, there goes that story. Ari says, kind of obvious, buddy. Combustion says, I'm surprised she hasn't noticed. Vietnam Parver says, alrighty, everyone. All the food everyone asked for is done. I got 27 burns in the process, but they were mostly on my metal arm. We ignore the 3 burns on my real arm. Jamie says, oh, well, we couldn't have done it without Ian's wand, since it helped us cook the food quicker and make all the food that went bad go fresh again. We asked for this, right? Rogue says, no, of course not. Ian says, oh, come on. Why does everybody keep stealing my wand? Rogue says, sorry, I didn't think you would care. Ian says, why would I not care? You know what? Never mind. Jack says, okay, how about we start passing everyone's food out? We'll get to your tables soon. Just gotta be patient. The 4 of them begin passing everyone's food out. Sid says, oh, so you guys are excited for tomorrow? Turquoise says, yeah, I'm excited, but also kind of scared. Whole mix of emotions. Star says, now that the All-Pros are back together, we should have no problem, especially with Sid there to support all of us. Gail says, I'm sure it'll be fun taking out all those villains. Star says, Gail, I have no idea why you're the way you are, but please never change. At another table, Mudkip standing with fire, she's sparking left hand, and Puffy sit looking relieved. Red says, you six are looking really happy. What's up? Puffy says, oh, it's nothing. Red, just happy to finally be normal again. We probably have a lot of people to apologize to. V says, hey, can I talk to you guys for a sec? Sparky says, oh, speaking of which, V, we are so sorry for what we said to you a few days ago. That was really just wrong of us. Corrupted or not, it shouldn't have been said. V says, oh, well, I accept your apology, but I also want to say sorry to you guys. Now that I've learned that I'm an all-pro, I'm starting to realize how great you guys really are. And if we're actually able to win tomorrow, then all my previous points about artificial energy were all wrong. And if you guys didn't make me realize, then I wouldn't have been like this. Maybe I should be saying thank you instead. Tasha says, oh, well, you're welcome. V says, no problem. No problem. Now, if you don't mind me, I'm gonna go talk to QB more. Little guy's growing on me. V walks off. Katie says, hey, did we hear correctly that you guys had some people to apologize to? Fire says, yeah, we sure did. Especially you all. So much happened at the moment, and we were thinking properly. Flat says, we never meant to hurt any of you. You guys have been sticking with us through thick and thin, and you didn't deserve what we gave you. So we are all very sorry. Xavier says, y'all, we accept your apology. The second fire, she said, yeah. Riley says, you guys may have been corrupted, but you were still trying to help us and the kids. Max says, plus, you guys lost someone very special to you. If there's anyone that knows how people may react in a situation like that, it would be us. Casey says, you know, because we lost our little siblings, kid's best friend. Mudkip says, ha, yeah, we got it, Casey. Yellow says, don't know if now would be a bad time to ask, but now that you guys are back, would we still be able to get our bodies back? Sam says, oh, right. I mean, we could get them back, but the current machine still requires a body to get yours back. We may be able to get it reworked so it won't do that, but we won't have time to do it before we leave for the fight tomorrow. Orange says, oh, that's all right. We'll be ready whenever you guys are ready. Thanks for all the help. Sunny says, no problem. Thomas says, okay, before anyone does anything, I just wanted to give you guys this. Thomas punches all six of them in the shoulder with great force. Mudkip says, ow! Thomas, what the heck was that for? Thomas says, for throwing my son out of a hole in the wall, duh. I may be an awful influence, but I'm still going to stand up for my kid. Hunter says, Game Hopper told him to do that, by the way. Game Hopper says, I want to see you losers in pain before things get spicy tomorrow. Riley says, oh, I like this idea. Can I give it a try? Casey says, I may be weak, but I also want payback punches. Mudkip says, what? Fine, go for it. All of you, make it quick. Blue says, ha, this is going to be fun to watch, although I wonder what Thomas meant when he says he's an awful influence. Purple says, hey, do you guys want to steal the machine that will give us our bodies back and take it for the battle tomorrow? Green says, you see that? This is what he means. Cool clinks a spoon on a glass to get everyone's attention. May I have everyone's attention? First of all, I'd like to thank VF, Jack, Rogue, and Jamie for this amazing food, mostly made with Ian's wand. I also like to thank Rob and George for providing me with this beautiful, beautiful whiteboard.
Oh, stop. It really was nothing.
Speak for yourself, says George. I inhaled at least a gallon of dust trying to get that thing. Cool says, all right. And as you all can see, the plan for tomorrow is written on the whiteboard. The plan has been thoroughly looked over with the help of my counsel. Red says, that's me, by the way. I'm his counsel. Cool says, indeed you are. Anyways, here's what we're going to do. There are 8 main villains on the enemy team. Group 1, consisting of Stars, Sid, Lila, Gale, and Turquoise, will take on Isabel. Group 2, being Theo, Cats, Amethyst, Ari, MTT, and all their Pokemon, will face Louie. Rogue, Jabber, Jamie, Alan, and Ian will take on DOV. Our next group, VF, Jack, GMH, Luna, Shy Guy, and OC, will face Buck Bumble. Me, Ritz, Mabel, and Funny, Rob, George, and Katrina will face Q-Bob. Sineva, FY, FS, Sparky, Mudkip, Puffy, Lazy, and the Rainbow Crew. And the whole group will take on Arthur. And then last but not least, QB, Ray, Dub, VS, V, Gold Guy, Gabe, and all of Gabe's family will take on GWallPro. Once each group defeats their assigned villain, we should go on to help another group. Once all of us are done, we face the paradoxical enigma. Then, that would be it. The only problem is we don't really know how to defeat the paradoxical enigma. We don't know if it can just be hit or anything. I want to find out if it has some kind of weakness. So before we face it, I need some of us to find out what its weakness is. Gabe says, I'd like the idea about how do we do that? The only people alive that have been around long enough to know anything about the paradoxical enigma are 2 of our enemies.
Well, there's also Eddie, or Edward, GWallPro's grandfather. He's still alive.
True, but the paradoxical enigma says he would enjoy his last few days of life. Edward may pass on soon. Who says, then you guys would have to leave right away to find him and meet up back with us. You know where he may be?
The clock tower! QB isn't sure he knows that, but isn't sure why he knows that, but that must be where Eddie is.
Me and QB will head there then. But before we do anything else, I just want to say something. For those that don't know, GWallPro is where a majority of the people in this room's All-Pro energy came from. He passed away today. No longer in between life and death. I want to dedicate this final battle to him. I want to carry on his legacy because if it weren't for him, none of us would have been here. I mean, he's where God mode came from. Sorry, oh my lord. He's where God mode came from. That's his power. He said the paradoxical enigma created all-pro energy, but the paradoxical enigma is no more than a heartless machine. Our energy may have come from it, but GWallPro was the one that passed it on to us. We do this for him, and I don't want any of us to forget that. Cool, this is great. Now there's one last thing we need to do. We need to let them know that the battle is tomorrow.
QB's on it.
QB begins to contact Cubop.
Cubop? QB needs to tell your team something. QB? Tell him something? What does Cubop need to tell them? Tell them that we're coming tomorrow. Same field you last saw us. We're ending this.
Sunny says, well, that's it. Now I think everyone has been told about our famous upside down chant, so let's do that one last time. Sunny Puffy Virus and Sparking Plastic. Can you feel me in the light now? Everyone says right side up or upside down. The next morning, all right, everyone, it's a long walk to the battlefield, so make sure you have everything.
Ha! You seem really pumped up, Cole.
Are you kidding, Cisco? I literally had a dream. I was counting down the hours till this moment. In hindsight, it was a really weird dream. What about you guys? Well, we're just about to head to the clock tower. We'll meet you guys back before the battle starts. I have hope we can do this. Cool says, we have hope, Gabe. Gabe smiles as he and QB run off for the clock tower. This is it. Ready when you guys are. Sunny says, got it. Okay. Remember, this is for GWallPro. He lives on through us. Sunny, Fire and Sparky, born from darkness. Puffy, Mudkip, and Flysand, born from lust. Sunny, Puffy, Fire and Sparky says, because when we reach out in the end, we do it all over again. They begin to walk to the final battle. Follow me. This is cool. We are the children of the machine. Barely human in a city built on broken dreams. Everyone follow me. We are the children of the machine, barely human in a city built on broken dreams. They continue to walk away and chant. And that is the end of chapter 17. All right. I think that is where we're going to end it for today's stream. So we got a lot of work ahead of us. We did quite a bit of progress today, but we're going to have to read a tiny bit more tomorrow. I think these 253 pages will include the credits as well. So, or 254 pages it's now. Like another page just got added to this. So I think because of that, but I think it's a good stopping point. We're literally at the day of the final battle. So I think it makes sense for us to stop here. So because of that, I will be live tomorrow reading the rest of this lore. We will get through it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Got about, if you include, I think whatever the credits pages are, we have about 90 pages left. So we did almost 90. We did 87 pages today. So basically just another, just copy paste it today into tomorrow, and we should be done with the lore. So yeah, one more day of lore. We'll have a rare GWallPro Tuesday stream tomorrow so we can finish this up. So I will see you guys tomorrow then, but I sincerely hope you guys have enjoyed this current lore. Tomorrow, the final battle starts. The final battle potentially of the trilogy of Mudkip's lore. So Mudkip, shout out for the story so far. It's been pretty great, but I need to rest and recover my voice so I can, be all good to read another 90 pages tomorrow. But I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I will see you guys tomorrow to finish up Mudkip's lore. Then I will see all the members on Wednesday. And then I will see you guys on Friday. So got a lot of crazy stuff happening this week. But we're getting through it. We're getting through Mudkip's lore. And we're getting through everything. So regardless, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Oh, did we actually get 20 likes in the stream? Oh, wow. We actually did. All right. A very, very late rave command. But we'll get a rave command nonetheless. There we go. Appreciate you guys. Shout out for the 20 likes. Let's see if we can hit 20 likes tomorrow as well. So, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching. The lore will be finished tomorrow. So if you want to listen to the rest of the lore, tune in tomorrow, probably around the same time. Hopefully I can start maybe about an hour earlier, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. GWallPro, and I'm out of here. Have a fantastic rest of your night, everyone.